Chapter 500. More or less. Song Huawu sighed, I can only help you this much. I estimate that the Supernatural Investigation Bureau will soon send people to arrest you. Once you show up, the consequences will be unimaginable. I understand. Xiaofan took a deep breath, but he did not regret it. Yang Tan, this person, would always be a scourge if he was not killed. At most, he would hide for a period of time, then find a place to improve his strength. When his strength increased, he would appear again. This Yang Tan, even after death, still caused trouble for him. Xiaofan was a little depressed, especially Xia Shibin, he was really a sinister person. Then let's do this first. If you have something, don't contact me again. I will buy another SIM card to contact you. This card will probably be monitored soon. Song Huawu said. Alright, why don't you send me a private message directly from the Warrior Guild's client? Xiaofan said. Alright. Song Huawu responded. Even if the Supernatural Investigation Bureau wanted to arrest Xiaofan, it was impossible for them to investigate his Warrior Guild account. There was no need for that. After hanging up the phone, Xiaofan fell into deep thought. There were many experts in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Just Yang Tan alone was an expert at the Martial Master Level 1. They even had guns, which really gave Xiaofan a headache. Yang Tan and the others were probably the only ones who dared to open fire in public. They were really black sheep. No wonder these aristocratic families were so ruthless. Even the Liu family, a mafia family, did not dare to openly use guns. Elder Heaven Ancestor, didn't you say that cultivators are very powerful? What if I encounter guns now? This was an important question that Xiaofan had to consider. Well. Elder Heaven Ancestor said, you are still too weak. If you break through the Qi refinement stage and enter the Foundation establishment stage, you will not have so many concerns. For cultivators, the Qi refinement stage is a very short stage. Any cultivator with a little talent will quickly pass this stage. No one will stay in the Qi refinement stage forever. With that kind of talent, there is no need to cultivate. Are you scolding me or scolding me? Xiaofan was a little speechless. I'm not scolding you. How many months have you been cultivating? Wasn't that short? It's even shorter than mine. Many cultivators break through during seclusion. The Elder Heaven Ancestor said, who knew you would cause so much trouble before you even passed the Qi condensation stage? Although the speed of the bullet is very fast, if you are at the Foundation establishment stage and can use sword kinesis flight, you can completely control the direction of the bullet. You can even turn it around and kill Yang Tan. It's just that you can't lock onto such a fast target right now. Sigh, even so, with the abilities of cultivators, every time I use them, I have to urge the incantation of the mantra. But the speed of the gunshot is too fast, I can't react at all. Xiaofan smiled bitterly. It would be great if I could instantly set up illusions or launch fireballs and ice balls. It takes a few seconds every time. A few seconds isn't bad. If you could reach the Foundation establishment stage, you'd be able to do it in a second. Elder Sky said, I'll say it again. Who can you blame for not being strong enough? Your strength is trash in the cultivation world. Alright. Xiaofan was hit hard, but it was true after thinking about it. He had only been cultivating for a few months. These aristocratic families, even the martial arts aristocratic families and sects, didn't dare to compete with the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. This was a giant existence that was even more powerful than the Warrior Guild. Others couldn't wait to avoid it, so how could they have a conflict with it? If I were you, I would find a place to hide. The moment you reach the Foundation establishment stage will be the moment you return to Songning. The Elder Heaven Ancestor said. Let me think about it. Xiaofan fell into deep thought. At the same time, the martial arts world of Songning City was about to explode. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau's reaction speed was quite fast. Yang Tan's backer, Xia Zhili, was the deputy director of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. He had great power. When he saw the video, although he knew that Yang Tan was also responsible, he played it down. He directly determined that Xiao Chen killed a public official of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and issued a warrant to arrest Xiao Chen in the martial arts world. The Xiao family soon welcomed a few uninvited guests. These people were members of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's law enforcement team. Xia Zhili didn't let Song Huawu participate at all, but directly sent people to arrest Xiao Chen. And it was only at this moment that Xiao Yuanshan and Xiao Hai realized that Xiao Chen was actually the White Fox. However, they couldn't be happy anymore, because according to the people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, Xiao Chen killed the team leader of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's Team C, which was a capital crime. How could the Xiao family be happy? At this moment, Xiao Yuanshan and Xiao Hai understood why the White Fox would spare no effort to help the Xiao family, and why he was so respectful to them. It was because of this reason. If it wasn't for the current situation, they would only be happy. Xiao Chen could finally become the pillar of the Xiao family. But now, whether Xiao Chen could escape this disaster was another matter. Xiao Chen has long been kicked out of the Xiao family. He is no longer a member of our Xiao family. Did you come to the wrong place? Xiao Xiao saw that her father and grandfather were silent in shock, so she spoke to the people of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. When she mentioned Xiao Chen, Xiao Zhao's eyes were full of contempt and disdain. There is no such person in our Xiao family. Oh. The two people of the law enforcement team had long heard that Xiao Chen was kicked out of the Xiao family, but the White Fox came to help the Xiao family before. If it wasn't for this, they wouldn't have come to the Xiao family. But as far as I know, the White Fox came once before. We didn't know at that time. If we knew, I wouldn't have bothered with him. Xiao Xiao snorted. The people of the law enforcement team were curious about the internal relationship of the Xiao family. Why was the White Fox so powerful, but they didn't welcome him? But thinking about it, Xiao Chen didn't reveal his identity when he returned to the Xiao family. This could explain why Xiao Chen didn't seem to want to return. Don't worry, if I see Xiao Chen, I will tell you immediately. Xiao Xiao said. That's good. Then we will leave first. The people of the law enforcement team nodded. Although time was limited, they had already inquired about what happened to Xiao Chen and the White Fox in Songning City during this time. The relationship between Xiao Xiao and Xiao Chen was very bad. They also heard about the several times she insulted Xiao Chen in public. They thought that if there was news of the White Fox, Xiao Xiao would definitely inform them immediately. They still had to go to the next family, and they didn't have time to stay here for too long. Hence, the two of them bid farewell and left. The Xiao family and Xiao Chen had already severed their relationship. They couldn't vent their anger on the Xiao family. After all, the Supernatural Investigation Bureau had to follow the rules when doing things. It wasn't until the people of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau left the Xiao family that Xiao Yuanshan and Xiao Hai came back to their senses. Xiao Xiao, just now if I didn't say that, would they be able to leave? What if brother comes back to find us? Xiao Xiao said. But Xiao Chen came back to help us previously, and we still acted so ruthlessly. This isn't good, right? What will others think of our Xiao family? Xiao Hai said with some worry. Dad. We're helping brother by drawing a clear line with him now. The people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau might be fine, but what if the people from the Extreme Ice sect use our Xiao family as a hostage to force brother to appear? What choice would brother make then? Xiao Xiao said, only when everyone thinks that we have nothing to do with brother will they not do anything to the Xiao family. We'll be fine, and that will be a great help to brother. That's right, Xiao Xiao is right. Xiao Yuanshan nodded and was very pleased. Originally, I thought that Xiao Xiao really hated Xiao Chen, but now it seems that isn't the case. Last time, I'm afraid that you and I didn't recognize Xiao Chen, but Xiao Xiao recognized him, right? Xiao Xiao's face was slightly red. I was wondering, I thought Xiao Xiao liked the white fox. So it was you who recognized him. Xiao Hai suddenly realized. Xiao Xiao's face was even redder. Two people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau went to Cheng Menjing's villa after leaving the Xiao family. At this time, Cheng Menjing already knew the news, because the news had already spread. Cheng Menjing, Jin Beibei, and Yi Xiaoye were all sitting in the living room of the villa, frowning. Cheng Menjing really didn't expect that the feeling she had last night would become real. Was Xiao Chen really going to leave? However, what was most unacceptable to Cheng Menjing was that Xiao Chen was actually the white fox. Then, between him and Shen Jingxian, Cheng Menjing was a little unhappy when she thought that her best friend had lied to her. Although she had broken off the engagement with Xiao Chen, at least Xiao Chen was still her follower, right? Shen Jingxian was with the white fox. How could she not know that the white fox was Xiao Chen? Besides, Jin Beibei and Yi Xiaoye didn't seem surprised that Xiao Chen was the white fox at all. They were just worried about his safety. Cheng Menjing was a little upset. Cheng Menjing couldn't help but ask, Beibei, Yi Xiaoye, did you two know that Xiao Chen was the white fox a long time ago? Cousin Menjing, don't be angry. I guessed it, but I was afraid that you would quarrel with Sister Jingxian and feel that she had stolen your fiancé. Jin Beibei said with a bitter face. Who would be angry? Cheng Menjing snorted. I don't like him at all. I'm just angry that you hid it from me. How can you blame others for your stupidity? Yi Xiaoye, however, said coldly, we all knew it, but you didn't. Who are you to blame? You are just not good enough. You. Cheng Menjing glared at Yi Xiaoye angrily and said, you did it because you had the chance to get in touch with him, didn't you? If you hadn't been his partner and slept with him at night, how would you have known? You knew that he had a girlfriend, but you still slept with him. You are not a good person at all. Humph. You are his fiancé. You can't control your man, but you are still acting like this. You are just too lousy. Yi Xiaoye said disdainfully, he has never slept with you, has he? It means that he doesn't like you at all. He is not interested in you. End of Volume 1. Chapter 501. You. Cheng Menjing was so angry that she was about to explode. She stood up and pointed at Yi Xiaoye. You. Xiao Chen is in trouble, and you're still making sarcastic remarks here. I think he's fine. Nothing will happen to him. Yi Xiaoye, however, said casually, that's why I'm not worried. Only a fiancé like you who knows nothing will worry for nothing. Cheng Menjing still wanted to say something, but the doorbell of the villa was rung. Jin Beibei hurried to open the door and saw two people dressed in the uniforms of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Is anyone here? We're from the enforcement team of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. We've been ordered to investigate Xiao Chen's case, said the leader of the two. Oh, I'm Jin Beibei. Do you know me? Jin Beibei walked over and said. Jin Beibei? The two were stunned. The leader said, we're looking for Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen isn't here. You can look for me, said Jin Beibei. Look for you? You can represent him? The leader was stunned. No, but I think. You know that I like my cousin-in-law. He. Jin Beibei said with a smile. The leader looked at 36J's Jin Beibei in confusion. What are you talking about? Nothing. When you see Xiao Chen's brother-in-law, he told him that Beibei is waiting for him at home and asked him when he'll be back, said Jin Beibei. You mean, he hasn't been back? After listening for a long time, the leader finally understood what was going on. They had said a lot of nonsense, but only one sentence was the key. Yes, yes. I miss him. Jean Bebe said, do you have any news about him? Any clues? No, not a clue at all. The leader said subconsciously. However, his expression changed as soon as he finished speaking. This was all confidential information. How could he tell others? Fortunately, he was relieved when he saw Jean Bebe's infatuated look. Alas, he said he would leave for a period of time. I thought he was joking, but he really left. Jean Bebe sighed and said with some bitterness. Oh? Did he say where he was going? Or, how long will you be gone? The leader hurriedly asked. No. I heard that he went abroad. He said that he had committed a crime and needed to lie low. Jean Bebe said, by the way, why are you looking for him? Tell me, where did you read it? An investigation center? Is he a private detective? Did he have a mistress outside and hired you to investigate me? The leader's face darkened. No, it's fine. I'm leaving. I'll come back in a few days. All right, all right. Come in and have a seat before you leave. How much did that mistress pay you? I'll give you double. Can you help me find my cousin-in-law? Jean Bebe said. Even if you don't give us the money, we still want to find him. All right, that's it. The leader planned to quickly report to the people behind him. There was an important clue here. Xiaofan might have run out of the country. Judging from the silly, infatuated look of the girl, she should not be lying. However, it was possible that Xiaofan was lying to her. The two of them left as quickly as they came. In fact, they also knew that it was impossible for Xiaofan to go home in the current situation, unless he was an idiot. He would definitely run away as soon as possible. They did not think that they would see Xiaofan in this place at all. Jean Bebe turned around and grinned. Cheng Menjing and Yi Xiaoye had followed her out a long time ago. After hearing the conversation between Jean Bebe and the other two, they were both secretly relieved. It seemed that the people of the Supernatural Investigation Department did not have any leads on Xiaofan at all. That was good news. However, Yi Xiaoye had to admire Jean Bebe. She had confused the people of the Supernatural Investigation Department with only a few words and accidentally revealed something important. Bebe, you are truly awesome. Cheng Menjing said. The two of them were too stupid, Jean Bebe said. Cousin Menjing, rest assured. My cousin-in-law will certainly have a solution. I hope so. Cheng Menjing sighed. The news that Xiaofan was White Fox had been spread out. The Cheng family was the most shocked. Old Master Cheng immediately called for an emergency family meeting. Cheng Zhongming, Cheng Xiaofan, and Cheng Mengqiang were present. Xiaofan is White Fox. What do you think? Old Master Cheng asked. Cheng Mengqiang was secretly shocked. It was truly a surprise. How could Xiaofan be White Fox? If so, why was he still alive? He had to admit that it was really a miracle. Li Shanying was dead, Leng Youxiang was dead, Chen Yuhan was dead, and even Yang Jiannan of the Supernatural Investigation Department was killed by White Fox. This man was a lunatic. However, he was still alive and well after dealing with Xiaofan and the Xiao family. Dad, actually, I told you long ago that Xiaofan is still capable. He can definitely practice. But now. Cheng Zhongming was a little excited, but he was also worried because Xiaofan had made a big mistake and was wanted by the Supernatural Investigation Department. I think it was the right thing to break off the engagement. Fortunately, it was broken off. Otherwise, the Cheng family would be implicated. However, Cheng Zhongfan said, this Xiaofan is really good at enduring. This kind of person is definitely a scheming and black-bellied person. Our Qing family definitely cannot have any dealings with him. Meng Chang, what do you think? Old Master Cheng asked. What I'm worried about is whether this Xiao Chen has any other purpose. If he showed his strength to the Cheng family before, would the Cheng family not accept him? But he didn't. Therefore, I think that Xiao Chen may be plotting something. Cheng Mengqiang thought about it and said. That's right. Cheng Xiaofan also nodded and said, so, it's right for us to draw a clear line with him. We don't have to discuss this anymore. Whether Xiao Chen has the strength or not, can he compete with the Supernatural Investigation Department? Obviously not. This time, he definitely can't escape this disaster, so we don't have to think about this anymore. It's better to take care of the Cheng family's own affairs. Alright. Old Master Cheng thought about it and agreed. It didn't matter what happened to Xiao Chen. The Supernatural Investigation Department would never let go of Xiao Chen. At this moment, the Shen family also received the news. Shen Zhenghao looked for Shen Jingmao with a shocked face. They couldn't contact Shen Jingxian, and they didn't know if Shen Jingxian knew or not. Anyway, they were both very surprised. Jingmao, did you know that Xiao Chen is White Fox? Shen Zhenghao looked at Shen Jingmao with an inexplicable expression. I didn't know. Shen Jingmao shook his head. But, what about Big Brother White Fox this time? Can he turn the situation around? Because Shen Jingxian went to the Heavenly Fox sect, coupled with Shen Hongjian's support for Shen Jingmao, even if something happened to Xiao Chen, Shen Jingmao's status in the Shen family would not be affected. However, he was very worried about Xiao Chen. Who knows? Shen Zhenghao frowned. He was wondering why White Fox wanted Jingxian, a second-hand good. It turned out that White Fox was Xiao Chen. No wonder White Fox was so good to Shen Jingxian. However, the fact that Xiao Chen was White Fox really surprised him. Xiao Chen was a good-for-nothing, but he suddenly became an all-powerful master. If the Supernatural Investigation Department hadn't announced it, it would be hard for him to believe that the two were the same person. I think Big Brother White Fox should be able to turn the situation around. Shen Jingmao said, he's so powerful, the Supernatural Investigation Department will definitely not do anything to him. Jingmao, you're thinking too simply. How can you imagine the Supernatural Investigation Department's background? Shen Zhenghao's face was solemn. If the Supernatural Investigation Department comes looking for you, don't talk nonsense. Just tell the truth. I know. Shen Jingmao nodded. At the Yu's house, Yu Xiaochuan was so anxious that Tang Tang, Yu Shanshan, and Zhu Yingxiong were a little dizzy. Brother, can you stop spinning? Can you solve the problem by spinning? Yu Shanshan said with a blurred vision. Yeah, Brother Xiaochuan, the boss will be fine. Stop spinning. Zhu Yingxiong also said. Tang Tang lowered her head and pondered, as if she didn't hear what these people said. To be honest, Tang Tang was most worried about Xiao Chen, but she also knew that she couldn't help. She could only silently pray for Xiao Chen. At this moment, Xiao Chen was still sitting in the car. He didn't go anywhere. He knew that the Supernatural Investigation Department was probably looking for him everywhere. He had to break the situation. Although he could kill a master at the martial master level, he wasn't arrogant enough to think that he could go against the Supernatural Investigation Department. He couldn't show up now, and he couldn't stop the development of this matter. This made him feel a deep sense of powerlessness. In the past, no matter what kind of predicament he was in, he could calmly deal with it. But now, he had no idea how to start. Elder Heaven Ancestor. What should I do? Xiao Chen took a deep breath and asked. You think of me when you have no other way? Elder Heaven Ancestor said faintly, you don't even know to look for me when there's a good thing. You only come when there's a problem. Elder Heaven Ancestor, don't make fun of me. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly, I really have no other way. Actually, the solution is thought of by people. Elder Heaven Ancestor said, now, what's the key point of the whole matter? Have you thought of it? The key point is that I killed Yang Tan. Xiao Chen said, if only Chen Yuhan died, the matter wouldn't be so big. I'm from the demonic star sect, and he's from the extreme ice sect. Even if he wants revenge, he has to fight openly. Yes, this is the key point of the problem. Elder Heaven Ancestor said, as long as this problem is solved, the whole matter will be solved. But Yang Tan is already dead. How can it be solved? Are we going to let him live? Xiao Chen frowned. He couldn't understand what Elder Heaven Ancestor meant. You're right. Let him live. If he's alive, everything will be easy, Elder Heaven Ancestor said calmly. F***ck me. Elder Heaven Ancestor, don't make fun of me. He's alive? Xiao Chen suddenly thought of something and slapped his thigh. Elder Heaven Ancestor, you mean, I. Chapter 502. Thought of it? Elder Heaven Ancestor smiled. If Yang Tan is fine, the limelight will pass. Naturally, it will be fine. Taking a deep breath, Xiao Chen logged into the Warrior Guild's app and saw Song Huawu's message asking him how was it. Xiao Chen replied directly, where do you live? I have something to do now. I need to go over immediately. Soon, Song Huawu replied to him, do you want to die? Looking for me now? Xiao Chen, tell me the address. It won't be a problem. Trust me. On the other side, Song Huawu hesitated for a while before sending the address. Xiao Chen looked at the address and drove all the way to Song Huawu's residence. However, just as the car stopped in the parking lot downstairs, two men in black in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau uniform pointed their guns at Xiao Chen's car. At this time, the person driving Yang Tan's car should be Xiao Chen without a doubt. However, Xiao Chen opened the door and got out of the car. He looked at the two men and said angrily, you are also from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Which department are you from? How dare you point a gun at me? Team Leader Yang. These two men in black were the two who went to the Xiao family and Cheng Menjiang's villa. They couldn't find Xiao Chen's headquarters. After reporting that Xiao Chen might have gone abroad, they returned to Xia Shibin's place and planned to discuss it with Xia Shibin. After all, Xia Zhili had said that Xia Shibin was a reliable person. Humph, what are you doing here? Xiao Chen's appearance had transformed into Yang Jiannan's appearance, and his voice was imitating his voice. This. Team Leader Yang, are you okay? The leader asked curiously. Didn't I just fall off a cliff? What can happen to me? Fortunately, I was lucky enough to die on a tree branch. Are you here for this? Xiao Chen asked with a strange expression. Yes, Team Leader Yang. We thought you sacrificed yourself, so. The leader said, since there is nothing else, we will go first. We have to report the situation to the higher-ups. Go. Xiao Chen waved his hand and opened the building's security door. Although Xiao Chen didn't have an access card, he directly used his Yuan Qi to open the door. It looked like he was swiping a card to open the door, so the two people didn't suspect anything. They turned around and quickly left. They didn't need to find Xia Shibin, they needed to report the situation to him. When Xia Zhili heard that Yang Jiannan didn't die, he was surprised. But when he heard that Yang Jiannan was hanging on the tree, he understood that it was a false alarm. He immediately called Yang Jiannan's phone, but no one answered. After some thought, he dialed Xia Shibin's number. Xiao Chen arrived at the door of Song Huawu's room and rang the doorbell. Who? Song Huawu asked from inside. It's me. Xiao Chen said in his original voice. Ka. The security door opened, but when Song Huawu saw the appearance of the person outside, she was shocked. How could this person be Yang Tan? Yang Tan? How come it's you? Song Hua-Wu was so scared that she took 2 steps back. She looked at the person in front of her in disbelief. This person is actually the dead Yang Tan. How did he come back to life and come here? Hee, it's me. Xiao Chen smiled and said, how is it? Are you scared? Xiao Chen. Song Hua-Wu was stunned. She was a little surprised. You are actually Xiao Chen. How did you become Yang Tan? Let's go in and talk. Xiao Chen said. Okay. Song Hua-Wu quickly let Xiao Chen into the room and poured him a cup of water. You really dare. How dare you kill Yang Tan? Do you know that this is a big crime? If I don't kill him, he will kill me, so I must kill him. Xiao Chen said, he asked me to go to the cliff to kill me, I know. I saw the video. Song Hua-Wu nodded. Then what do you plan to do next? I won't appear as Xiao Chen for the time being. I plan to appear as Yang Tan for a while, said Xiao Chen. Yang Tan? Song Hua-Wu was stunned. She was a little shocked. You want to pretend to be Yang Tan? Yes. Xiao Chen nodded and said, Xiao Chen is wanted. The root cause is actually Yang Tan. As long as Yang Tan is fine, slowly, Xiao Chen's wanted order will be lifted. But, won't it be exposed? Song Hua-Wu was a little speechless by Xiao Chen's boldness. Aren't you too bold? Thank goodness. Just as Xiao Chen finished speaking, he heard a burst of laughter coming from outside the anti-theft door, followed by a bang 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 sound of knocking on the door. Who is it? Song Hua-Wu was slightly surprised and asked. Open the door, Song Hua-Wu. Xiao Chen, stop pretending. Xia Shibin's voice came from the door. Song Hua-Wu's face suddenly became a little ugly. Why is Xia Shibin here? However, she and Xiao Chen didn't speak loudly before. It was impossible to reach the door. Even if Xia Shibin stood at the door, he couldn't hear it. However, Song Hua-Wu still opened the door. It would be worse if she didn't let him in. Maybe Xia Shibin would directly inform the Supernatural Investigation Bureau to arrest her. It was better to let him in to talk. Maybe there would be an unexpected turn of events. The door opened, and sure enough, it was Xia Shibin. He was looking at Song Hua-Wu and the Yang Tan in the room with a smirk on his face. He laughed and said, Xiao Chen, you still want to pretend to be team leader Yang? Dream on. When you pretended to be team leader Yang and went to the private room to snatch people, I knew you would do this. Xiao Chen's face was also a little ugly. He didn't understand how Xia Shibin recognized him, but he still pretended to say, Xia Shibin, what nonsense are you talking about? I'm your Yang Tan, brother Yang. Don't talk nonsense. Sit down, ha ha ha, don't pretend. Xiao Chen, do you think I don't know? Xia Shibin looked at Xiao Chen in ridicule and said, you haven't even changed your clothes. Do you think I don't know you? Besides, it's useless to pretend. You still don't know, right? You don't know how I found you, right? Didn't the 2 people downstairs tell you? Xiao Chen was slightly surprised. They told me, but they told me that team leader Yang came back. They didn't tell me that you are Xiao Chen. Said Xia Shibin. Then how did you know? Xiao Chen frowned. Song Hua-Wu, maybe you don't know yet, right? The mobile phones that our Supernatural Investigation Bureau staff are equipped with have a close-range monitoring function. Even if your mobile phone is offline, not connected to the internet, or even turned off, we can monitor through the mobile phones in the nearby bureau. Xia Shibin said, it's just that usually, every mobile phone has a corresponding authorization password. This password is only controlled by the headquarters. We don't know it. However, the headquarters told me your monitoring code. I have been monitoring you. Sure enough, I found out the secret. Ha 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 ha. Xiaochen looked at Xiaofan and was a little speechless. This guy really has the potential to be a spy. All kinds of secretly recording and monitoring are out of control. It's impossible to guard against. It seems that Song Huawu doesn't know about this. Song Huawu's expression was a little dark. She deliberately turned off her mobile phone. She didn't expect that the close-range monitoring function was so awesome. It could actually be turned off and monitored. Xiaofan, since you recognized me, then it's nothing. Sit down and talk. Xiaochen pointed to the sofa over there and said, looking at your appearance, you haven't reported it yet, right? You came to me for some other purpose, right? Yes, Xiaochen. You teach me the secret of transforming into other people's appearance, and I can let you go. Xiaofan said, how about it? As long as you tell me, I can act as if nothing happened, and I haven't seen you. I will let you go. Of course, if you can't escape and get caught again, then don't blame me. Hee, I knew it. Xiaochen smiled faintly after listening. I can't teach you this. Your physique isn't good enough. You can't practice our Devil Gates mind technique. It's useless to teach you. That means there's nothing to talk about. Xiaofan's expression changed, and he said with some malevolence, you better think it through. If you don't cooperate, I'll tell the Supernatural Investigation Bureau that you're here and let them catch you. At that time, you won't be able to return. Hee, I say, Xiaofan, what benefits do you get from doing this? Do you think that you can be valued by doing this? Xiaochen asked faintly, do you think that you can be valued by jumping up and down like this? Is it your turn to be the team leader of Team C? I think the biggest possibility is still Song Huawu, right? Humph, don't talk about this. If she is the team leader, I can also be the deputy team leader. Xiaofan said, have you thought about it? Xiaofan, why don't I let you listen to a recording? Xiaochen took out his mobile phone and clicked on a recording. I recorded what you said to me just now. Don't you want to listen? If this is heard by the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, you won't have a good time. From Xiaochen's mobile phone, the words that Xiaofan had just said to him came out, including Xiaofan saying that as long as Xiaochen said the secret of changing his face, he would let go of Xiaochen. You are very good. Xiaofan's face changed again and again. I learned it from you. Xiaochen smiled. But, so what? I can tell the Supernatural Investigation Bureau that I lied to you by asking you to tell the secret. Let's see if someone believes me or you at that time. Xiaofan immediately thought of an excuse. Oh, okay, then I will let you listen to another recording. As Xiaochen said this, he clicked on another recording. It was the recording that Lu Zhenming had recorded before. Xiaofan used his identity to threaten Lu Zhenming. Xiaofan was stunned. How do you have this? What do you mean? I don't mean anything. You say, if I spread this recording, will the Supernatural Investigation Bureau still protect you? Xiaochen said indifferently, it doesn't matter if you have someone to protect you. This matter. Chapter 503. You. Xiaofan didn't expect Xiaochen to bring up this matter. He was a little exasperated. Xiaochen, how dare you? Why wouldn't I dare? Xiaochen said indifferently, you can quibble about the previous recording. What about this? Xiaofan took a few deep breaths. He didn't expect that Xiaochen actually kept this trump card. Indeed, it would be a big scandal if this matter was spread out. Although he helped Yang Tan was already dead. He and Xia Zhili weren't on good terms to the point where Xia Zhili would spare no effort to protect him. At that time, he was afraid that the fate waiting for him would be to be fired. After thinking about it and weighing the pros and cons, Xiaofan finally said, Xiaochen, tell me. What do you want? It's very simple. I will be Yang Tan in the future, and you will still follow me. Yang Jiannan is the evil leader, and you are just a follower. So, I don't plan to do anything. As long as you admit my identity as Yang Tan, then you will still be my underling. Xiaofan said, having me to protect you is better than having an illusory backer, right? This. Xia Shibin was silent. What Xiaofan said was indeed attractive enough. Yang Tan was dead, and he lost his backer in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. It was hard to say whether Xia Zhili would accept him. After all, he was only a low-level figure in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. He was just an ordinary member of Team C. It was almost impossible for him to be as successful as he was now. Moreover, the most important thing was that he and Yang Tan were very close in the beginning, and he had offended a lot of people. Those disobedient members were secretly targeted by Xia Shibin. Now that Yang Tan was dead, if he didn't get promoted, it would be difficult for him to move forward. It was hard to say whether he could continue to be a part of it. Therefore, Xia Shibin really listened to Xiaofan's suggestion. His heart was constantly struggling. He wanted to make a reasonable choice. After all, this matter was very important. He had to be careful. After 10 minutes, but in Xia Shibin's eyes, it was a long time. He raised his head and said, "Okay, Xiaofan, I promise you, but you have to protect me like when Yang Tan was here. And I want to follow you like before." "No problem. Our relationship is indispensable. I want you to help me cover, so your identity and status will not change. You used to be by Yang Tan's side, but now you can be by my side." However, at this point, Xiaofan paused for a moment and said, "As long as you're obedient, I won't do anything to you. However, you don't have to think of using this matter to threaten me and ride roughshod over me. If you do, I'll kill you. You also know that my temper isn't very good. I like to kill people. Whoever I don't like, I'll kill them. Once I gain a firm foothold, I'll kill you without anyone knowing. That's an easy thing to do." Xia Shibin shivered. Indeed, what he thought before was that he wanted to obtain power and benefits through Xiaofan. At that time, even if Xiaofan was the leader of Team C, he knew his identity. If he did something out of line, he believed that Xiaofan would turn a blind eye to it. Even his real status and authority would be similar to that of the leader of Team C. But now it seemed that his imagination was too simple. Xiaofan would not allow him to do this. And Xiaofan said it very clearly. If he dared to do this, he would kill him. Xia Shibin didn't think that this was a threat. In his opinion, Xiaofan dared to do this, and it was 100% daring. Since Xiaofan said it, it proved that as long as Xia Shibin was obedient, Xiaofan would not kill him. Otherwise, if Xiaofan really wanted to kill him, Xiaofan wouldn't say it in advance. Xiaofan would pretend to be courteous to Xia Shibin first, and then wait for the opportunity to kill him. "I understand. Brother Xiao, don't worry. You are my boss in the future. I will listen to you." Xia Shibin also made a decision decisively. "Sister Huawu, you have to protect me in the future. You can't always make things difficult for me behind my back like before. If you cooperate with Xiaofan, I won't trouble you." Song Huawu said. In the past, she had indeed secretly opposed Xia Shibin. She was probably the only one in Team C who dared to oppose Xia Shibin. "Okay, no problem." Xia Shibin nodded again and again. "Oh yeah, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia just called me and asked me to confirm if Brother Yang is really fine. Brother Yang, what do you think? I will give him a call back." Xiaofan thought about it. He was already back. It wasn't right to let Xia Shibin reply, so he said, "You tell me roughly how Yang Tan usually talks to this Deputy Bureau Chief Xia. How is their relationship?" "Okay, I will tell you." Xia Shibin said quickly, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia's real name is Xia Zhili. Xia Shibin didn't hide anything. He was counting on working with Xiao Chen in the future. If Xiao Chen was fine, then he would be fine. So, he naturally hoped that Xiao Chen could muddle through. However, Xiao Chen listened to Xia Shibin's words and knew that although Yang Tan often secretly gave benefits to Xia Zhili, in fact, it was still the kind of relationship between a superior and a subordinate. There wasn't a deep relationship. It could only be said to be a relationship of benefits. That was easy. This Xia Zhili didn't know Yang Tan very well. He could completely disguise himself. He used Xia Shibin's mobile phone to call Xia Zhili. Xia Shibin, how is it? Did Yang Jiannan go back? Xia Zhili's voice came from the phone. Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, it's me, Yang Jiannan. I'm back, said Xiao Chen. Oh. Jiannan, you're back? Why didn't your previous mobile phone work? Asked Xia Zhili. The mobile phone fell to the bottom of the cliff. As Xiao Chen said this, he didn't expect Xia Zhili to actually open a video call request. Xiao Chen hesitated and didn't dare to open it. He pretended not to see it and continued, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, let me tell you that I'm safe. I'm covered in blood now. I want to take a shower. I will visit you tomorrow morning. Oh, that's fine. You can come tomorrow. Xia Zhili actually wanted to confirm if the other party was Yang Tan, but after listening to him, he didn't force it. Instead, he said, then you give the phone to Xia Shibin. Okay, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia. As Xiao Chen said this, he gave the phone to Xia Shibin. Xia Shibin, is Yang Jiannan really back? Asked Xia Zhili. Team leader Yang is back. It's really scary but not dangerous. Xia Shibin said, Deputy Team Leader Song is also next to us. We just discussed it. Do you think that the arrest warrant for Xiao Chen can be cancelled? After all, Team Leader Yang is fine. It's not good to keep the arrest warrant, right? You don't have to worry about this. I'll handle it. Xia Zhili said, we'll talk about it when you come tomorrow. After that, Xia Zhili hung up the phone. Xiao Chen was secretly shocked, but Xia Shibin was puzzled. Brother Yang, it's good that you picked up the video call just now. Deputy Bureau Chief Xia can confirm that you're back. You didn't pick it up, I can't pick it up. My current appearance is only effective for human eyes. It's ineffective for those technological devices. Xiao Chen said, so, you should try to help me cover up in the future. Don't let people record me, and don't let people take photos of me. Otherwise, it will be exposed. It turns out to be like this. Xia Shibin was stunned. He was a little surprised. So, in the video in the nightclub, Brother Yang, you actually changed your appearance, but the surveillance video didn't record it successfully, right? It should be. Xiao Chen nodded. So, let's get ready. We'll go back to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau together tomorrow. I must meet Xia Zhili, or else he will always be suspicious. Okay, then we'll go back early tomorrow morning. Xia Shibin said, Brother Yang, are you staying at Sister Huawu's place? I'll go upstairs. Xiao Chen nodded. Staying at Song Huawu's place was the best choice. It was more convenient. Although Xia Shibin came over, he had no choice. It was a mutually beneficial relationship. Xiao Chen didn't want him to know too much about himself. Song Huawu's face was slightly red, but she didn't object. After all, it was the most convenient for Xiao Chen to live here. Moreover, she also knew that Xiao Chen probably wouldn't have any improper thoughts about her. Xia Shibin left, and only Song Huawu was left in the room. Xiao Chen fell on the sofa. He was a little tired. I'll sleep here tonight. It won't bother you, right? Song Huawu shook her head. Actually, there are 2 rooms here. There is a small bed in that room. You can sleep there. You don't have to sleep in the living room. So nice? Xiao Chen wasn't polite. He nodded and followed the direction Song Huawu pointed and entered the room. After hesitating for a while, Xiao Chen sent a group message to eldest Miss, Jin Beibei, Tang Tang, Yi Xiaoya, and Shen Jingxian. There were only 3 words, "I'm fine." He didn't know whether Shen Jingxian could receive it or not. Mobile phones might not be allowed in her sect. After thinking for a while, Xiao Chen replied to Xiao Zhao's mysterious mailbox. "I'm fine. If you see me one day, don't be surprised if I'm not called Xiao Chen or White Fox." Cheng Menjing and the others received Xiao Chen's message and were relieved. Eldest Miss went upstairs with Jin Beibei in silence. She felt a little uncomfortable without Xiao Chen at home all of a sudden. In the past, although she always asked Xiao Chen to do this and that as if she was dissatisfied with Xiao Chen, she was actually quite satisfied with Xiao Chen. Unexpectedly, the feeling she had at that moment came true. Xiao Chen had really left. Cheng Menjing felt empty in her heart as if she had lost something. When Xiao Chen transferred to another school, she didn't have such a feeling. But now, she began to miss him and get used to the days when he was with her. "Cousin Menjing, don't worry. My cousin-in-law is so powerful. He will be fine. Yang Tan is an expert in the first level of martial master. Even he was killed by my cousin-in-law easily." Jin Beibei comforted her. "Who's worried about him?" Cheng Menjing, however, snorted. "He only knows how to make trouble every day. Why did he provoke Yang Tan? If he sat at the same table with me at school, how could he have provoked Yang Tan? He became enemies with Yang Tan because he fell in love with Song Huawu. I'm afraid that he will get the Cheng family into trouble. That bastard." Chapter 504. Jin Beibei looked at Cheng Menjing, who said one thing but meant another. She patted her forehead and said, "All right, we'll make an announcement in the warrior guild tomorrow. We'll say that Xiao Chen has nothing to do with us. That's not necessary. We have to spend points." "No way," Cheng Menjing said hurriedly, "because it's not worth it for him to spend points." "Fine." Jin Beibei shrugged. "I wonder where my cousin-in-law is. He can go wherever he wants." Cheng Menjing was quite unhappy. "Why didn't you tell me earlier that you were so powerful? If you had told me earlier, the Cheng family would not have broken off the engagement, right? You obviously like Shen Jingxian and don't like me. You can't wait to break off the engagement, can't you? You flirt with Song Huawu. You are dumbfounded now, aren't you? You are a wanted man now, aren't you? You deserve it." Cheng Menjing cursed while praying that Xiao Chen would not be caught. As for Yi Xiaoya, she called her master as soon as she returned to her room. As for Yi Xiaoya, she called her master, Qi Xiangmei, as soon as she returned to her room. "Xiaoya, I was going to call you even if you didn't call me. White Fox is Xiao Chen. Why didn't you tell me before?" Qi Xiangmei asked. "I just found out." Before Yi Xiaoya could tell her, Xiao Chen was in trouble. "All right, the people from the extreme ice sect might look for you to understand the situation. However, you don't have to be afraid of them. Don't betray Xiao Chen either. I will back you up." Qi Xiangmei was very determined when she said this. However, Yi Xiaoya was not surprised at all. She said, "I understand. I won't betray him. Instead, I will try my best to help him." "That's good. I won't tell you more. I believe you know what to do," Qi Xiangmei reminded her. "Yes, I know what to do," Yi Xiaoya replied. Xiao Chen lay on the strange bed and could not fall asleep for a long time. The facilities in the room were simple, just like in a hotel. However, Xiao Chen was not at ease. When he was chased out of the Xiao family, he had a brief moment of confusion. It was the elder heaven ancestor who had rekindled his hope in life. Now, he had the same feeling again. Xiaochen did not know where he should go in the future. The identity of Yang Tan might bring him some convenience, but it would also bring him some troubles. The flaw of the illusion caused Xiaochen to have to be extremely careful in the future. Otherwise, it was very likely that Xiaochen's previous efforts would all go to waste. After cultivating for an entire night, Xiaochen subconsciously wanted to cook when he woke up in the morning. However, when he opened his eyes, he realized that he was no longer in the villa, and there was no need for him to cook. When he woke up in the morning, he subconsciously wanted to cook. However, when he opened his eyes, he found that he was no longer in the villa, so there was no need to cook. Looking at the sky outside, Xiaochen planned to get up and go to the bathroom. However, when he came out of the room, he saw Song Huawu busy in the kitchen. When she saw Xiaochen come out, she was a little surprised. "Xiaochen, why are you up so early?" "Yes, of course." Song Huawu said, "I don't like to eat outside, so I cook by myself every day. I brought you some today. Try my cooking." "Okay." Xiaochen did not expect Song Huawu to be such a virtuous girl. She even knew how to cook. These days, there were not many girls who could cook. Moreover, she took the initiative to bring him a portion. It was hard for Xiaochen to imagine that she had such a gentle side. Soon, Song Huawu served breakfast. It was fried eggs and purple potato porridge. Although the eggs were fried, they looked good. Xiaochen could not wait to take a bite. "He did not eat last night." "How is it?" asked Song Huawu. "Not bad." "I'll make it for you tomorrow," said Xiaochen. "Huh? Are you for real? You'll make it for me?" Song Huawu was a little surprised. "Do you know how to cook?" Xiaochen was a little speechless. "I started out selling fried dough sticks. Didn't you investigate me? I thought you were here to do hard labor." Song Huawu smiled embarrassedly. "Okay, then I'll wait and see. Hurry up and eat. After eating, we'll go to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's Northern Branch. Deputy Bureau Chief Xia is the person in charge there." "Okay." Xiaochen nodded and quickly finished the porridge and fried eggs in front of him. Song Huawu did not expect him to eat so much, but fortunately, she made more. There was still some left in the pot. Xiaochen finished them all. After Xia Shibin finished his breakfast downstairs, he came to find Xiaochen and Song Huawu. He knocked on the door. At this time, Xiaochen and Song Huawu were already dressed. The three of them went to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's Northern Branch together. Xia Zhili was one of the elders of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Back then, he had relied on his profound martial cultivation strength to join. This person was good at currying favor, and he had climbed to his current position step by step. Currently, he was one of the most authoritative figures in the Northern Branch. Xiaochen came to the Northern Branch with Song Huawu and Xia Shibin. The people at the door knew Yang Jiannan and the others, so they did not stop them and let them in smoothly. Xiaochen tried his best to avoid the direction of the surveillance cameras. Of course, it did not matter even if he was recorded because nothing special happened. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau would not check the surveillance cameras for no reason. Under Song Huawu's hint, they came to the door of Xia Zhili's office with ease. They knocked on the door, and a deep voice came from inside. "Who is it?" "Come in." "Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, it's me, Yang Jiannan." Xiaochen pushed the door open with a smile, followed by Song Huawu and Xia Shibin. It's Jiannan. You're really fine. It's good that you're fine." When Xia Zhili saw Yang Tan, he breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Don't be so reckless next time. He's just an insignificant person. Is there a need to recover so quickly?" Insignificant person my ass. Old man, I'll kick you to death sooner or later. On the surface, Xiaofan looked like he had learned a lesson. He nodded and said, "Sigh, it's also because I was impulsive. Isn't it because Chen Yuhan from the extreme ice sect begged me? I couldn't refuse, so I agreed. I was thinking that there's no harm in our Supernatural Investigation Bureau roping in more sections. When Deputy Bureau Chief Xia's ranking moves up, I can also be transferred to Team B to manage these sects." You're considerate. Xia Zhili nodded and said, "But in the future, you have to discuss it with me." "I understand, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia. Don't worry, I know what to do." Xiaofan quickly said. "By the way, I heard from Huawu that there's an ancient ruin near Songning City?" Xia Zhili changed the topic and asked. Xiaofan didn't answer. Even if he knew, he still turned his gaze to Song Huawu. "Yes, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia. There's indeed an ancient ruin, but I'm not sure of its exact location. I'm still following up on this matter," Song Huawu said. Jiannan, when the time comes, you should follow and see if there's anything good." Xia Zhili glanced at Xiaofan and hinted. "Okay, if there's something good, I'll bring it back for you." Xiaofan quickly nodded. Xia Zhili was very satisfied and continued, "Jiannan, you and Huawu have been working together for some time now, right? I'm actually very optimistic about the two of you being together. After all, the nature of our Supernatural Investigation Bureau's work is special. It's not easy to find partners outside the circle. So, Huawu, you can consider it." Yang Jiannan had become Xiaofan. Song Huawu naturally wouldn't be as resistant as before, but she still acted calmly. A hint of disgust flashed in her eyes, and then she said, "Okay, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, I understand. Okay, then you guys go. Call me if there's anything." Xia Zhili didn't say much. He just casually helped Yang Jiannan. Whether it succeeded or not was another matter. On the surface, as a superior, he was very concerned about his subordinates. "By the way, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, can we cancel the arrest warrant for Xiaofan?" Before Xiaofan left, he asked, "Isn't it a bit too much to issue a warrant for an ordinary family's young master?" "You don't have to worry about this. Since I've already issued a warrant, if I cancel it now, wouldn't it mean that I've done something wrong?" However, Xia Zhili waved his hand and said, "You don't have to worry about this. If he's wrong, then he's wrong. He's just a nobody. Who cares about him?" Old B** starred, "I really want to slap you to death." Xiaofan was so angry that he gritted his teeth. However, he could only let it be for now. He would look for opportunities in the future. He nodded and said, "Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, then I'll leave first. When the time comes, I'll see if there's anything good in the ancient ruins for you." "Okay." Xia Zhili nodded noncommittally. Xiaofan returned to Songning City with Song Huawu and Xia Shibin and went to school. This time, Xiaofan swaggered to the seat of Xiaochen. Anyway, Xiaochen had run away, and he, Yang Tan, was back. Naturally, he would sit in this seat. Seeing that Yang Tan was not dead and had come to school, Cheng Menjing and Jin Beibei were instantly shocked. "What the f***ck, Yang Tan is not dead?" Jin Beibei's eyes widened. "Wasn't he killed by my cousin-in-law?" "Who knows?" Cheng Menjing was a little puzzled, too. The news that Yang Tan was not dead had not spread out. They only learned about it today. If Yang Tan is not dead, why is my cousin-in-law still wanted? I'll go and ask him. Jin Beibei was a little angry. She stood up and rushed to Yang Tan. "Hey, Yang Tan," Jin Beibei came to Xiaochen and stared at him with her hands on her waist. "Where's my cousin-in-law? Who knows where your cousin-in-law is?" Seeing that Jin Beibei was so concerned about him, Xiaochen was touched. However, he still pretended to be Yang Tan and sneered. You lost your cousin-in-law and came to me? You didn't have an affair with him, did you? What does it have to do with you? You envy him, don't you? Jean Bebe snorted. Since you are not dead, why are you still wanted for my cousin-in-law? Cancel the wanted order and let him come back. I'm sorry. The wanted order is because he killed Chen Yuhan of the Extreme Ice sect. It has nothing to do with me, Xiao Chen said. Unless the Extreme Ice sect stops pursuing it, there's nothing I can do. Humph. Jean Bebe was so angry that she kicked Xiao Chen's foot. Chapter 505. Ouch. Xiao Chen was not prepared. He screamed in pain, how could you be so cruel, huh? Jean Bebe looked at Xiao Chen's shoes in a daze. Then, she looked at Xiao Chen's face and reached out to touch it. Hey, what are you doing? Xiao Chen was shocked. He thought that Jean Bebe was going to scratch him. To his surprise, Jean Bebe just touched his face and then let go. She turned around and left without saying anything, which puzzled Xiao Chen. After Jean Bebe left, Cheng Menjing asked, what were you doing just now? Why did you touch Yang Tan? Nothing. I just asked him when he would cancel the arrest warrant for my cousin-in-law, said Jean Bebe. And, asked Cheng Menjing in a hurry. Huh? Cousin Menjing, are you worried about him? Asked Jean Bebe with a smile. Who's worried about him? I just feel that he is a bit unlucky. Yang Tan is not dead, and he is still wanted, said Cheng Menjing. Forget it. Maybe Yang Tan is really dead, right? It's fine as long as my cousin-in-law is fine. Jean Bebe said, don't worry. I told you that my cousin-in-law is a transformer. He might have already transformed into someone else. It's impossible to catch him. Oh. Cheng Menjing did not understand what Jean Bebe said. However, it was the greatest comfort that Xiao Chen was fine now. After Jean Bebe left, Xiao Chen was deep in thought. Earlier, when he pretended to be a white fox, Jean Bebe seemed to have already noticed the loophole. Judging from Jean Bebe's behavior just now, she seemed to have noticed something again. Xiao Chen had been careful enough to change his clothes to Yang Tan's. The only thing he could not change was his shoes. Yang Tan's shoes were too small for him to wear. It was different from clothes. Clothes could be worn through clothes because they were about the same height. However, shoes were too small. It was not like he could cut off a piece of his foot before wearing it, right? He recalled that Jean Bebe had glanced at his shoes just now. Could it be that she had noticed something from his shoes? Thinking about it, it wasn't impossible. This chick's observation skills were very meticulous. Maybe she really saw something. However, Xiao Chen was not worried that Jean Bebe had seen through him. At least, judging from Jean Bebe's previous reaction, she did not say anything. Therefore, Xiao Chen was not worried that she would talk nonsense. Why was Jean Bebe acting so weird just now? Song Huawu asked. She seems to have noticed something wrong, Xiao Chen said. She is more observant. Song Huawu nodded and did not say anything else. Zheng Xiaokuan also heard something. He turned around and saw Yang Tan sitting beside Song Huawu. He wanted to say something several times but stopped. He wanted to ask about Xiao Chen's situation. It did not occur to him that Xiao Chen was actually White Fox. It shocked him very much. At the same time, he was surprised by Tang Tang's insight. Xiao Chen was not a useless child, but a strong child. Zheng Xiaokuan had always regarded him as a good-for-nothing. It turned out that he was his boss, White Fox. As for Lu Zhenming, he turned to White Fox. Although his original purpose was not pure, he was scared when he heard that White Fox was Xiao Chen. Gosh, why didn't I get killed before? Is this White Fox so awesome? But isn't Yang Tan dead? Why does he appear again? Lu Zhenming was a little confused. Skinny Monkey said, Master Ming, this Yang Tan is so awesome. How did he come back to life? I don't know. Don't act rashly. Even Boss Xiao Chen is no match for him. Let's not add to the trouble. Just monitor him secretly and see what he is going to do. Lu Zhenming said. Okay. Skinny Monkey nodded repeatedly. He also knew that this was not something he could participate in. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Xiao Chen still went to school every day, but he was using Yang Tan's identity. He could not talk to Cheng Menjing, Jin Beibei, Zheng Xiaokuan, and Lu Zhenming. He could not even contact the Xiao family. He could only take it one step at a time. At the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, Xia Zhili's arrest warrant had not been cancelled. It was said that the people from the Extreme Ice sect had also gone to see Xia Zhili. Although he did not know what they talked about, judging from the fact that the arrest warrant had not been cancelled, the Extreme Ice sect was probably up to no good. As for Xiao Chen, he had gradually adapted to his identity as Yang Tan. As usual, he took Song Huawu's car and returned to home. Once Song Huawu got home, she slumped on the sofa lazily. Hey, Yang Tan, go and cook for me. Didn't we agree to have 1 day each? It's your turn today. Xiao Chen said. I'm tired today. It's still you. Song Huawu said lazily. If you don't go, I will tell Xia Zhili that you are Xiao Chen. Okay. Xiao Chen shook his head. Anyway, he was doing this all day in the Missy's villa. Now that Song Huawu could help him hide it, it was already a great help to him. Xiao Chen would not care about these small details. However, when Xiao Chen was cooking, he found that Song Huawu was not resting. Instead, she took the tablet and was studying something with someone. After a while, the food was served on the table. Song Huawu put down the tablet and sniffed. Yang Tan, you really have the potential to be a family man. No wonder Cheng Menjing asked you to be a servant. That's my fiancé. What are you to me? Xiao Chen was a little depressed. Didn't Xia Zhili ask me to be your fiancé? Song Huawu said confidently, have you forgotten? Your identity is Yang Tan now. You should please me. I am now living with you reluctantly. Whether we can go further depends on your performance. Pfft. That's Yang Tan, okay. Xiao Chen laughed dryly. In order to act more like it, you should imitate Yang Tan in all aspects. Song Huawu said seriously. Well, I give up. Xiao Chen was speechless. Right, there is news about the ancient ruins. This time, there may be several groups of people eyeing the ancient ruins. At that time, we will represent the Supernatural Investigation Bureau to get a share of the loot, said Song Huawu. You can go, but I still have to represent Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen said, you and Xia Shibin can go. Oh, that's fine too. Then I will tell Xia Zhili that you will stay in Songning. I will go with Xia Shibin. Song Huawu thought about it and said, at that time, we will report that Xiao Chen appeared in the ancient tomb, no need. I will transform into another appearance, and I won't be called Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen waved his hand. He didn't want his whereabouts to be exposed. He could transform into Yang Tan, so naturally, he could transform into other people. At that time, he just needed to change it a little. That's fine too. Song Huawu nodded. Are you going with one of the groups? Isn't it just a group of people? Why are there several groups of people? Xiao Chen asked curiously. According to the information I have, this ancient ruin has been targeted by several groups of people. I don't know who spread the news, but think about it. If I can find out about it, then the others naturally have the corresponding channels, Song Huawu said. I see. Xiaochen thought about it and used the Warrior Guild's client to contact Shenhongjian and Clayton online. When are you going to the ancient ruins? I heard that we're not the only ones going. Soon, Clayton's message came back. You're okay? That's great. There's a condition for the ancient ruins to open. It must be on a moonless night. According to the observation of the stars, it should be on the 15th of this month. I originally wanted to inform you before, but you can also prepare now. As for the people going, it's just us. Is there anyone else? Yes, as far as I know, people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau will also go, and there will be others, replied Xiaochen. What? People from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau are going too? There are others? Oh no, it seems that the news has been leaked. However, if the people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau are going, do you still dare to go? Asked Clayton. I will pretend to be someone else. You'll know when we meet. Xiaochen said, don't worry about me. You should worry about the others. Okay, I'll ask around. Said Clayton. Back Mountain of Immortal Resort. This was a perilous peak that had not been developed. Other than a dangerous road that led halfway up the mountain, there were strange rocks and dense forests everywhere. At night, the shadows of the trees were very eerie. Today was the 15th of this month, the moonless night. Xiaochen was the first to arrive, while Song Huawu and Xia Shibin would be the last to appear. The people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau were always the main characters no matter where they were. They naturally had to wait for the other groups to appear before appearing, but Xiaochen wanted to meet up with Clayton first. Until now, Clayton had not figured out if there were others coming. His information channels were also limited. However, thinking about it, even Song Huawu did not know the specifics and had only heard about it. It was reasonable that Clayton did not know. As Xiaochen had been here once, he was familiar with the route this time. Soon, he reached the top of the mountain. At the top of the mountain, Xiaochen saw Clayton. At this moment, Xiaochen had already changed his appearance. He no longer looked like Xiaochen from before, nor did he look like Yang Tan. Instead, he looked like an ordinary young master with no special characteristics. The reason for this was that Xiaochen did not want others to remember his appearance. He wanted to keep a low profile. Who is it? There was already a man and a woman standing beside Clayton. Seeing Xiaochen's sudden arrival, the man beside Clayton shouted first. Clayton looked at Xiaochen and was also stunned. Then, he revealed his half-step martial master strength, ready to fight at any time. Clayton, how have you been since we last met in Lan City? Xiaochen laughed. Although his voice had changed, he believed that Clayton would know who he was. Indeed, Clayton was only slightly stunned. Then, he also laughed. So it's young hero Xiao. The night was too dark, so I couldn't see clearly. Chapter 506. Young hero Xiao. Xiaochen was a little depressed. Didn't I tell you not to use Xiaochen's identity? You're still young hero Xiao, you're really. Clayton was a little embarrassed when he called out young hero Xiao. He had just said it casually, but he suddenly remembered that Xiaochen was wanted and had to change his identity. However, since he had already said it, there was no way he could take it back. Xiaochen looked at him and knew that he didn't mean it, so he didn't say anything more. He quickly walked in front of the three people, cupped his fists, and said, "Greetings, everyone. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm another friend of Clayton's. My name is Xiao Chang." Xiaochen gave himself a name. Since his surname was Xiao and couldn't be changed, he didn't change it. Chang was Xiaochen's mother's surname. It was a very rare ancient surname. When he was young, Xiaochen only heard that his mother wasn't an ordinary woman, but he didn't know what was so special about her. He only knew that his mother's surname was Chang. According to legend, the Chang family was the descendant of the ancient Yan Emperor or the Yellow Emperor. It was very rare to find such a family. Xiaofan always felt that his mother was definitely not a simple person, but he didn't know where she went. "Oh, so it's young hero Xiaofan. Nice to meet you." The man said, "Nice to meet you," but his eyes didn't look happy at all. It was obvious that he didn't think much of Xiaofan. Next to him was a woman in her 40s. She looked at Xiaofan and nodded. "Since everyone is here, Clayden, can we set off? There's no rush. Let me introduce you guys first." Clayden knew that he had to introduce Xiaofan's strength so that these two would behave themselves. Otherwise, they would definitely look down on Xiaofan. "All right." The man nodded. "This is young hero Xiaofan. He is a demonic cultivator at the peak of stage 10 inner force. His strength is similar to mine," Clayden said slowly. Originally, the man was a little dissatisfied with the introduction of Xiaofan first. However, after hearing Clayden describe Xiaofan's strength, he immediately shut up. However, he didn't quite believe it. Looking at Xiaofan's appearance, how could a young man have such a powerful cultivation? As for the woman, her eyes lit up when she saw Xiaofan. She cupped her fists and said, "Chen Xinyang greets young hero Xiaofan. He, these two are Ma Minquang and Chen Xinyang. Hero Ma is a stage 9 inner force martial artist, and Chen Xinyang is a stage 8 inner force martial artist. However, Chen Xinyang is an expert in the 5 elements, 8 trigrams, Chimen Duanjia, and is very good at breaking mechanisms." Clayden introduced. "Greetings, Brother Ma, Sister Chen." Xiaofan cupped his fists and said, "All right, let's go to the entrance of the ancient ruins and prepare to activate the mechanism," Clayden said. Xiaofan and the other two nodded and followed Clayden into the depths of the mountain. The path in the forest was very difficult to walk, and it was very easy to get lost. Clayden led the way in front, and it was obvious that he had been here many times. Finally, they arrived near a mountain rock. However, there was nothing strange about this place. Just as everyone was wondering what was going on, Clayden stepped forward and used his hand to sweep the surface of the rock a few times. He removed all the tree vines on it, and then revealed a faintly discernible stone door. It turned out that this stone door was hidden behind the tree vines. If one did not deliberately look for it, even if someone passed by this place, they would not be able to find it, let alone using a satellite map. Because the cave was vertical and hidden, it was no wonder that no one had discovered it for so long. "It's here. Everyone, get ready. Once the time is up, we will attack this stone door with all our might, according to what I said, to open it," Clayden said. "Attack the stone door? I can break this stupid stone door by myself. Why do we need to wait for the moonless hour?" Ma Minquang said arrogantly as he looked at the stone door. "If you can do it, then do it. What's the point of all this nonsense?" Xiaofan was a little displeased with this person. He had no ability, but his words and actions were very forceful. He did not know what Clayden was thinking by bringing him here. Ma Minquang was also displeased with Xiaofan, so when he heard Xiaofan's words, he immediately said, F***ck, if I open it, then everything inside will belong to me, right? I can't guarantee anything for others, but I'll give my share to you," Xiaofan said coldly. All right." After hearing this, Ma Minquang saw that Clayden did not interrupt, so he immediately used the mantra and unleashed the full power of the 9th level of his inner force. He struck the stone door with a breaking monument palm. He was an expert in palm techniques, and his attack power was very high. This strike could even break a city gate, let alone a stone door. Boom! An earth-shattering sound rang out, and Ma Yuquang was sent flying. He landed heavily on the ground nearby and spat out a mouthful of blood. After a while, he crawled up and cursed, Motherf***, there's something strange about this stone door, it can rebound. Stupid bird. Xiaofan glanced at him. If it could be broken so easily, then Clay Den would have done it himself. Why would he need to gather people? He was simply brainless. This stone door, don't be fooled by its ordinary appearance. In fact, it contains a very mysterious formation. It should have been set up by an ancient powerhouse. We don't know anything about formations, so we can only break it by force. However, to do so, we must find the moment when the formation is at its weakest. This formation relies on the essence of the sun and the moon to replenish its energy. It is rare when there is no sun, but it can be found when there is no moon. Therefore, we must break it when it is at its weakest. Clay Den finally opened his mouth to speak. Clearly, he did not like the Mahaor, so he purposely played a prank on him. But if you randomly hit it, you will be rebounded by the formation and end up like this. F***ck, so that's how it is. Ma Minquang was a little exasperated, but there was nothing he could do. He had lost a lot of face, so he stood aside gloomily. This stupid formation is really annoying. Ha ha ha, there is indeed a secret behind it. It seems that we were right to wait. Just as the four of them were thinking about the formation, a laugh rang out. Xiaofan looked up and saw 3 people galloping toward them. There were 2 men and 1 woman. One of the men was old, while the other was young. They looked similar and did not hide their strength. The older one was a level 1 martial master, while the younger one was a level 8 inner force expert. As for the female cultivator, she was a middle-aged woman. She had taken good care of herself and was a level 10 inner force expert. If Xiaofan's guess was right, these 3 people should be a family of 3. Fellow martial artists, are you also here for the ancient ruins? Clayton's expression was a little ugly. He did not expect the opponent's strength to be so strong. They were already at the level of a martial master, while he was only a half-step martial master. If they really fought, he and Xiaofan could barely suppress them. However, the woman was a stage 10 inner force user. Ma Minquang and Chen Xinyang were no match for them. That's right. When we enter the ancient ruins, how about we split the treasures 20-80? The man looked at Xiaofan and said. You get 20 and we get 80? Ma Minquang was a little annoyed. He obviously knew what the man was really thinking. He only said it to express his anger. You're courting death. The man casually pulled out the sword from his waist and slashed at Ma Minquang. Clay Den could not stop him in time, and Ma Minquang's arm was cut off. Fresh blood gushed out, and Ma Minquang screamed in pain. He looked at the man in shock. You actually attacked, so what if I did? You lowly ant, if you don't even want 20%, then scram. The man said domineeringly. The inner force on his body became even stronger, and it was released in an overbearing manner. Ma Minquang did not expect that the man would pull out his sword just because they were discussing something. His expression changed again and again. He knew that he would not be able to get away with this man. He looked at Clay Den, hoping that Clay Den would stand up for him. Clay Den, this man stole our rice bowl, and he even cut me, so what? Do you want to follow in his footsteps? The man snorted impatiently. Who else wants to stand up for him? Come out now. I can save my time by sheathing my sword. Seeing that Clay Den did not respond, Ma Minquang gritted his teeth. He could only pick up the severed arm from the ground and quickly left. He needed to find a place to reattach the arm. No matter how good the treasures in the ancient ruins were, without an arm, his strength would fall greatly. Seeing Ma Minquang leave without a word, the man was even more pleased. He looked at Xiaofan and the others proudly. Now, let's continue our discussion. 280. Do you have any objections? I don't care how we split it. I just want all the spirit jades in the ancient tomb. Seeing that Clay Den was hesitating, Xiaofan spoke up. He was not interested in anything else. He only wanted the spirit jades. As for Clayden, he did not fight for it. If he did not get anything, it was because he was useless. It had nothing to do with Xiaofan. You're quite arrogant, aren't you? If it's all spirit jades in there, you want them all? The man looked at Xiaofan mockingly. You're too noisy. Xiaofan threw out a large fireball. The target was the man. You. The man was shocked and hurriedly dodged. However, because he was too close, the fireball still hit his left arm. The sleeve on his left arm was instantly burned away. Even his arm was charred black. This turn of events stunned everyone present. Even Clayden, who had fought with Xiaofan before, looked at Xiaofan in confusion. He did not know when Xiaofan had learned such a domineering technique. Furthermore, Xiaofan's current strength, the man screamed in pain and took 2 steps back. His eyes were filled with shock. You are also a first-stage martial master devil master. Humph. Xiaofan said, I only want the spirit jades. Is there a problem? All right. That man was clearly a person who bullied the weak and feared the strong. Seeing that Xiaofan's strength was similar to his, and that the martial technique he executed was also rather tyrannical, and that Xiaofan's overall combat prowess seemed to be slightly stronger than his, he immediately gave in. Chapter 507. The woman quickly took out some ointment from her bag and wiped it on the man's arm. Only then did the man finally heave a sigh of relief. His arm was saved. I'll take 80% of the rest and you take 20%. As for the spirit jades, they all belong to this young hero. What do you think? The man looked at Clayden again and said. Humph. I might have been afraid of you before, but you can't use your arm now. Why should I be afraid of you? Clayden revealed his half-step martial master strength. Why should we take 20%? You. The man was a little annoyed. He shouldn't have provoked Xiaofan just now. He should have just agreed to give him the spirit jades. Now, Clayden was a half-step martial master. It would have been easy for him to deal with him in the past, but now he had to force himself to do so. Hee, you guys agreed on the division so quickly. Are you looking down on the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Song Huawu's voice rang out nearby. Xia Shibin followed behind her. Song Huawu sighed when she saw Xiaofan's large fireball technique with her own eyes. Yang Tan's death was not unjust. What? The man frowned. He didn't expect the people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau to join in the fun. He could be a little overbearing to others, but he couldn't be overbearing to the people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau was very powerful. Not only were there many experts, but they also had the responsibility of supervising warriors and martial masters. Therefore, the man glanced at Song Huawu. Although he knew that Song Huawu was weaker than him, he didn't dare to act rashly. Are the two of you from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? This is my ID. Song Huawu showed her ID and handed it to the man. Shen Hongjian recognized Song Huawu. He had seen her from afar at the Shen family, so he didn't doubt her identity. The man looked at Song Huawu's ID and fell silent. It seemed that those who came to the ancient ruins to get a share of the loot were not easy to deal with. I'm Mo Xiangyin. This is my wife, Ma Xiaoying. This is my son, Mo Zhiqiu. The man introduced himself. We're from the Mo family of Zhenwu. So it's the Mo family. Song Huawu nodded and turned to look at Xiaofan and the others. I am Clayden, a member of the Zhen Wushan family. This is Chen Xinyang, a person who is proficient in the 5 elements and 8 trigrams. This is my friend Xiao Chang, a level 1 devil master. Clayden introduced himself. There are so many people here. Looks like I'm not too late. Another voice rang out from afar. It was two figures rushing over. Both of them were women. However, when Xiaofan saw them, he was shocked. These two people were actually the people who had come to Little Hong's pharmacy to seek treatment. Back then, when Xiaofan had treated the old man, the young girl had promised Xiaofan that she would send spiritual jades to Xiaofan. However, after such a long time, there had been no news of her. Xiaofan had thought that they had been delayed by something. He did not expect them to appear here. Moreover, they had come to the ancient ruins to search for treasures. This place was not far from Songning City, yet these two people did not go to Songning City to deliver spiritual jades to him. Their words were like farts. Xiaofan was a little disdainful. However, it was not good to expose his identity at the moment, so he could only pretend that he did not know them. Level 3 Martial Master. Xiaofan and the others were completely stunned by the strength that the young lady revealed. Clayden and Mo Xiangyin both widened their eyes. Although the old man didn't reveal his strength, the young lady beside him was a third-layer martial master. What kind of strength did the old lady have? Master, there are so many people here. The young girl looked at the old woman beside her and asked hesitantly. So what if there are many people? The old woman did not care at all. She looked at the crowd and said, in a while, the two of us, master and disciple, will enter the ancient ruins. We don't want anything else, but all the spiritual jades here belong to us. How about it? Mo Xiangyin and Clayden looked at each other in dismay. Song Huawu and Xia Shibin were also a little puzzled. Previously, they had already informed Xiaofan that they would do their best to help Xiaofan obtain spiritual jades. However, this pair of master and disciple wanted to occupy the spiritual jades in the ancient ruins. Wasn't this too dramatic? I don't know where the two of you came from, but before you came, we had already reached an agreement here. It's not good for you to come and interfere, right? Song Huawu said. People from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Seeing that Song Huawu had not put away the document in her hand, the old woman glanced at her and said indifferently, the Supernatural Investigation Bureau does not need things like spiritual jades. Don't be a busybody. But, this young hero has already said that he only wants spiritual jades. We have also agreed. Song Huawu pointed at Xiaofan and said. If it were any other time, I would not care about the items in the ancient ruins. However, this old woman's disciple has promised someone to give spiritual jades to that person. Therefore, this old woman has come here. This old woman does not wish to fight with weak people like you. However, if you insist on making this old woman's trip be in vain, this old woman has no choice but to take action. The old woman said indifferently. Xiaofan was stunned when he heard the old woman's words. Her disciple has promised to give spiritual jades to someone? That person. Isn't that me? It seems that this person did not keep his promise. Perhaps, due to some reason, he did not manage to obtain spiritual jades. Moreover, they had not forgotten to help him obtain spiritual jades during this period. When they heard that there were ancient ruins here, they had come. Alright, then I want something else. I will give the spiritual jades to this senior. In any case, it would be his sooner or later, so Xiaofan did not feel conflicted. If there were a lot of spiritual jades in the ancient ruins, he would be envied and hated if he took them out. However, who would dare say no if these two took them? You are very sensible. Young man, I will guarantee that I will help you get whatever you like later. Consider it your compensation. The old woman was obviously not an unreasonable person. Although she was overbearing, she was still reasonable. Alright, thank you, senior, Xiaofan said hurriedly. Just call me Grandma Nanshan. The old woman nodded. This is my disciple, Ling Er. Greetings, Grandma Nanshan, greetings, Sister Ling Er. Xiao Chen cupped his fists and said, I am Xiao Chang, a loose cultivator. Who is your sister? Linger glared at Xiao Chen. Although her face was not very good-looking, her pair of eyes were filled with incomparable spirit. Xiao Chen knew that she was wearing a mask, but he did not know the exact reason. Judging from her big eyes, she should be a beauty, but it was hard to say, ha ha. Xiao Chen did not say anything. Ling did not say anything because Xiao Chen had taken the initiative to give in. She just stood quietly beside Grandma Nanshan. Not long after, two sharp laughs were heard in the air. So many people, but it's not too late. Everyone looked up and saw two men, one old and one young. Xiao Chen also recognized them. They were Qiao En's and the Cheng family's elder, Cheng Tianqiu. How did they end up mingling together? Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. Qiao En's and Cheng Tianqiu were here. Could it be that Cheng Tianqiu had already accepted Qiao En's? However, when Qiao En saw Song Huawu and Xia Shibin, his expression changed slightly. He had not expected people from the Supernatural Investigation Department to be here. Originally, he had thought that he would be able to get a share of the loot as long as he revealed his status as a deacon of the Warrior Guild's Law Enforcement Hall. However, he had no choice but to compromise now. When he arrived, he did not care about the others. Instead, he directly said to Song Huawu, so, Deputy Team Leader Song is here too. It just so happens that we are all in the same system. How about we take the biggest share of the loot from the ancient ruins? I am here on behalf of the Warrior Guild. In his opinion, the others were all loose cultivators. As long as he used the Warrior Guild's name, they would obediently give in. Clayton was a little depressed. He had not expected these people to be so powerful. The Mo family of Zhenwu was already unbearable. Behind them, there was also Song Huawu from the Supernatural Investigation Department, and even the two mysterious Master and Disciple Masters. Now, there were people from the Warrior Guild. He really could not imagine what he would be left with in the end. He could still pretend to be arrogant in front of the local Warrior Guild. However, he could not contend against the people from the Warrior Guild's Law Enforcement Hall. He could only silently look at Xiao Chen, hoping that he would make a decision. Slap. Xiao Chen slapped Qiao En's face and said angrily, "Where did you come from, you idiot? Can't you see that these two masters are still here? You're just going to distribute the spoils in a do manner. Why don't you ask them what they want?" Qiao En's was immediately stunned by Xiao Chen's slap. He really could not understand. He had already revealed his proud identity. How could someone still dare to hit him? He was a deacon of the Warrior Guild's Law Enforcement Hall. Wasn't this person afraid of his revenge? Granny Nanshan glanced at Linger. Although she knew that Xiao Chen might be using their name to cause trouble, she did not care. She had originally wanted all the spirit jades here. Since Qiao En's was jumping up and down, she could not open her mouth to argue. It was just right for Xiao Chen to do it for her. Linger revealed the strength of a third-stage martial master. Qiao En's was hit. Just as he was wondering what Xiao Chen's strength was, he looked over and saw a third-stage martial master chick. He was so scared that he wet his pants. Cheng Tianqiu's expression changed slightly. With Qiao En's help, he had secretly reached the half-step martial master realm. This was something that he had not told anyone. He had thought that he would be able to control the situation by coming here. However, from the looks of it now, he was nothing. Not to mention the third-stage martial master chick, even the young hero who had slapped Qiao En seemed to have the strength of a 10th-stage inner force expert or a first-stage martial master. Qiao En's was dumbfounded and speechless. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau is only here to get a share of the loot. It is impossible for us to ask for a bigger share. We have never thought of that. Song Huawu said. However, Qiao En's, if you are capable, please do as you please. Chapter 508. This. Xiaofan's heard that there was a good treasure inside. He didn't want to give it up, but he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to get his hands on it. He was a little hesitant. He was in a dilemma and didn't know what to do. Let's follow them and see what we can get. However, if we crack the mechanism ourselves, can the things inside belong to me? Cheng Tianqiu suddenly asked. Song Huawu was slightly stunned. She looked at the master and disciple, but they didn't seem to be tempted at all. They were only here for the spirit jades. Other things didn't seem to attract them at all. Young hero Xiao Chang, tell us about it. Granny Nanshan spoke up. Xiao Chen was the most pleasing to the eye in this place. He had already agreed to take all the spiritual jades. Now that they were here, he gave them all to them. Although he had no choice, it was neat and tidy. It saved Granny Nanshan a lot of trouble. Otherwise, it would be bad for her reputation if she fought with these juniors. She wouldn't look good either. Granny Nanshan was someone who paid attention to such things. If others can't crack it and you crack it, it belongs to you. Xiao Chen thought for a moment and said, if others can crack it, you guys are the last to arrive, so you can only give up. All right. Xiaofan's laughed after hearing this. Although he hated Xiao Chen, he was happy that Xiao Chen had said something beneficial to him. He was very happy. Then it's a deal. As for the other things, you can give them to us if you don't want them. If you guys can't crack the mechanism, we will crack it, and the items will naturally belong to us. No one had any objections. Mo Xiangyin and Clay Den had completely become a foil. They didn't dare to raise any objections. At this moment, everyone was sitting cross-legged to the side to rest, waiting for the moment when the moon would be blocked. If we can crack it, then you don't even have a fart. Xiao Chen said. Fine. Xiaofan's gritted his teeth. He did not dare to provoke this person in front of him. He did not know where this loose cultivator had come from, but he was not afraid of his Martial Artist Guild's law enforcement hall. Damn it, the most infuriating thing was that his surname was also Xiao. Who knew what relationship he had with Xiao Chen? The moon was small, like a crescent moon. As it slowly disappeared from the sky, so did the moonlight. Clay Den turned on the searchlight that he had prepared beforehand. Xiao Chen was a cultivator, so he could see the situation clearly. However, these warriors and martial artists could not, so this searchlight was of great use. It's almost there. I can feel that the array is starting to weaken, Chen Xinyang cried out in surprise. Xiao Chen was a little surprised. This Chen Xinyang didn't seem to be very strong, but she was proficient in these kinds of arrays. She was indeed a talent. While Xiao Chen was surprised, he heard the voice of the elder heaven ancestor. This Chen Xinyang really knows some things. This array is something that cultivators are proficient in, and she actually knows about it. The voice of the elder heaven ancestor was also a little surprised. It should be enough. Let me try. Chen Xinyang observed the stone door for a long time. Then, she took out a small flag from her backpack. It was similar to the kind of flag that football fans wave when they watch a game. Then, she directly threw it in front of the stone door. Array flag. She actually has this kind of thing? The voice of the elder heaven ancestor was even more surprised. Elder heaven ancestor, what is this array flag? Xiao Chen asked in his heart. Array flag is a tool that array masters use to arrange and break arrays. I don't know where this Chen Xinyang got this kind of thing. Did she make it herself? The elder heaven ancestor said in surprise. Chen Xinyang's action surprised the others. But Chen Xinyang didn't care about their expressions. After throwing the array flag at the stone door, it disappeared. Then, she took out another array flag from her backpack and threw it at the stone door. After the array flag fell on the stone door, it also inexplicably disappeared without a trace. This made everyone even more surprised. It's done. It didn't rebound. Instead, it swallowed the array flag that I used to break the array. This proves that the array has entered a weakened state. Everyone, follow my instructions. Everyone take a position and attack with all your strength. Chen Xinyang said. AI, it seems that this Chen Xinyang knows something about arrays, but not too much. The voice of the elder heaven ancestor sounded, this array, as long as you study it carefully, you can break it. Although there won't be any problem if you attack it directly, it will take a lot of effort. Oh. Elder heaven ancestor, do you have a way to break it? Xiao Chen asked. You can also do it. The elder heaven ancestor said, it's just that you can't make the array flag. You need a foundation establishment expert. But if you have a good array flag, then you can follow my instructions to break the array. Then this Chen Xinyang. Xiao Chen was a little surprised by the array flag in her hand. It shouldn't be made by her. I don't know where she got it. The elder heaven ancestor said. Xiao Chen nodded and said, then do I need to help them? Forget it, I don't want to be exposed. It's better to avoid trouble. You don't know these people. The elder heaven ancestor said. Chen Xinyang quickly assigned everyone's positions. Since they didn't understand these things, they could only follow Chen Xinyang's arrangement, and each group of 3 occupied a position. Xiao Chen, Clay Den, and Song Huawu were in a group. Xia Shibin, Cheng Tianxiu, and Xiao Ens were in a group. Mo Xiangyin and his family were in a group. Grandma Nanshan and her disciple were strong, so they were divided into 4 groups. As for Chen Xinyang, she was in charge of dispatching and commanding. After the arrangements were made, Chen Xinyang nodded and said, in a moment, when I tell you to attack, you all just attack the direction in front of you with all your strength. Although this array is weak, it is not weak. When the time comes, we will work together to break this array. Everyone, don't hold back your strength. That will only make the array more difficult to break. When the time comes, when the moon comes out, none of us will be able to break the array. Does everyone understand? Understood. Everyone listened to Chen Xinyang's words and immediately nodded. They all understood the pros and cons. Alright, let's attack. Chen Xinyang suddenly shouted, and then everyone immediately began to attack. It was obvious that everyone was going all out. Xiao Chen didn't hold back either. He switched back and forth between the dark flame palm and the fireball technique, continuously attacking the front. Everyone's actions seemed a bit silly, but only those who were in the middle of it knew what they were attacking. In front of them, there was an indescribable barrier that seemed like a protective barrier. Everyone's attacks made clanking sounds. Under Chen Xinyang's guidance, the 4 groups simultaneously attacked the 3 points of the array. In the beginning, the array was still constantly rebounding everyone's attacks. However, after about an hour, the rebounding strength of the array began to decrease. Everyone was somewhat happy. It seemed that their attacks were not in vain. Chen Xinyang really did have some ability. She really knew how to break this array. Therefore, everyone's attacks became even more ferocious. They madly urged their martial skills to attack the front. Soon, everyone, let's put in more effort. Chen Xinyang looked at the sky with a somewhat worried expression. If they didn't hurry, when the moon comes out, the loosened array would once again replenish its energy. Therefore, she wanted everyone to break the array as soon as possible. Suddenly, under everyone's combined attacks, the array issued a loud rumbling sound. It seemed like something had happened. It's done. Chen Xinyang happily shouted. However, what everyone didn't expect was that the moment the array was broken, the energy contained inside seemed to explode in an instant. The explosion sent Xiao Chen and the others flying. This huge energy hit everyone's body. It was a bit excessive to die, but if they weren't prepared, they would definitely be seriously injured. Everyone was knocked to the side. Although the array was broken, they were still seriously injured. Chen Xinyang was also a bit shocked. She looked at everyone and said, "I didn't expect that this array contained such a powerful energy. It was my negligence." At that moment, everyone was injured except for Chen Xinyang. If Chen Xinyang had any ulterior motives, everyone would be caught off guard. However, there were a few martial masters among them. Even if they were injured, they could still kill Chen Xinyang if they worked together. Therefore, they weren't worried, but they were more vigilant. "Humph, I bet you don't have any good intentions. You want to blow us up so that you can enjoy the ancient ruins alone." Mo Xiangyin coldly snorted. He was obviously a bit dissatisfied. "How could that be?" Chen Xinyang said. "This is just the array on the outside. There must be more hidden mechanisms inside. If all of you are injured, who will break it? Alright, let's not talk about it. This is unavoidable. If everyone is afraid of the energy explosion and doesn't use their full strength, then this array won't be broken." At that moment, Grandma Nanshan spoke. She was the strongest among them, so her injuries were also the lightest. Now that she had adjusted her breathing, she was obviously fine. Xiao Chen, on the other hand, was the person who recovered the fastest. That was because he could heal himself. Although the power of the explosion was great, it was only external injuries. It couldn't harm his foundation, so his recovery speed was the fastest. There are definitely ways to avoid it, but these people don't know about it. Elder Heaven Ancestor's voice sounded in Xiao Chen's ear. "Huh? Elder Heaven Ancestor, you know about it? Why didn't you say so?" Xiao Chen was a bit depressed. "Everyone else is injured, but you aren't. Don't you think it's strange? When the time comes, people won't suspect Chen Xinyang, but you," Elder Heaven Ancestor said. "Moreover, these injuries are nothing to you." Xiao Chen nodded. That was indeed the case. Everyone was vomiting blood. If Xiao Chen wasn't injured, everyone would definitely suspect him. Even Grandma Nanshan's mouth was bleeding. She was obviously caught off guard and was hit. Chapter 509. How does everyone feel? Chen Xinyang asked. There's a time limit to how long this formation can be activated. Although it's broken, we broke it by force. When the moon comes out, the formation will automatically recharge itself and return to its original state. We won't be able to enter then. What? The formation will return to its original state? Does that mean we still have to break the formation when we come out? Mo Xiangyin asked in surprise. That's right. Now do you know why I said I didn't do it on purpose? If something happens to everyone, I'll be trapped inside even if I go in myself. Chen Xinyang said. Everyone nodded after hearing this. However, Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. Since there was such a reason, why didn't Chen Xinyang mention it earlier? Wouldn't this reason be more convincing than Grandma Nanshan's explanation for her? However, it was really strange that she didn't mention it earlier. Very soon, Xiao Chen's injuries were healed. As for the others, they stood up one after another after consuming the medicinal pills. Now, everyone follow me into the formation. Don't act blindly without thinking and don't touch anything in the cave. Do you understand? Chen Xinyang reminded them. Everyone nodded. They had just experienced the power of the formation, so they didn't dare act blindly without thinking. They followed Chen Xinyang and entered the cave one by one. Inside the cave, there was a luminous pearl embedded every few meters. If these luminous pearls were auctioned in the secular world, each of them would fetch a sky-high price. However, in these ancient ruins, they were only used as street lights. Qiao Enz and Cheng Tianxiu looked at the luminous pearls with greed in their eyes. Their status was relatively low, so they were considered existences that spent their days in the secular world. Therefore, their desire for money was especially strong. When they saw the luminous pearls, they liked them very much. They wanted to take a few of them back with them. If this item were to be taken out, it would definitely be priceless. Cheng Tianqiu gave Xiao En's a look. The two of them deliberately lagged behind the others. Soon, the two of them were at the back of the group. Then, Xiao En's took advantage of the fact that no one was paying attention to reach for the luminous pearls from the wall. However, just as his hand touched the night luminescent pearl, an arrow came out of nowhere and pierced through Xiao En's shoulder. Xiao En's immediately let out a wail, F***ck me. John En's knelt on the ground in pain. His face was pale. He didn't know what the arrowhead was smeared with, but when it hit his body, he felt excruciating pain. It was as if his heart was being torn apart, and he wanted to die. When everyone heard the exclamation, they turned their heads and saw Xiao En's lying on the ground. What happened? Chen Xinyang was shocked. She looked at them and asked in a deep voice, "What did you do?" "I didn't move. I don't know where the poison arrow came from. It hurts so much." "Chen Xinyang, why didn't you tell me?" Xiao En's naturally refused to admit that he had touched the night pearl. "That's impossible. I was walking in front and you guys were walking behind me. How could I be hit by an arrow?" Chen Xinyang was confused. "Look at the dust on the luminous pearl. There are traces of it being touched. Are you trying to steal the luminous pearl?" Xiao Chen pointed at the luminous pearl on Xiao En's head and mocked him. Sure enough. Song Huawu also saw that the luminous pearl had traces of it being touched. Obviously, it was caused by Xiao En's greed. "Didn't I tell you not to touch it? Why didn't you listen?" Chen Xinyang seemed a little agitated. "Do you know that if you touch these things, it might cause all of us to suffer? If you don't want to go, then leave as soon as possible while the array is not closed." "Humph, if you touch it again, I'll kill you." Xia Shibin glared at Xiao En's. "You idiot." Xia Shibin saw that Xiao Chen scolded Xiao En's, so he also scolded. "You guys." Xiao En's was a little depressed. How could he have known that it was just touching the luminous pearl? He didn't expect that there would be danger and he would even be scolded. Especially that Xiao Chang, he was really annoying. If he didn't say anything, who would have discovered it? Cheng Tianqiu pulled out the arrow from Xiao En's shoulder. There was a barb on it, causing Xiao En's to grimace in pain. However, seeing that everyone continued to walk forward, he could only quickly keep up, temporarily ignoring the pain in his shoulder. There was no danger along the way, but there were no treasures either. However, the luminous pearls on both sides of the road could only be seen but not touched. After walking for a while, a fork appeared in front of them. Chen Xinyang stopped in her tracks and didn't rush forward. "Chen Xinyang, which path should we take?" Seeing that Chen Xinyang didn't speak for a long time, Mo Xiangyin couldn't help but ask. "I also don't know. I didn't expect there to be a fork in the road. These two roads seem to be similar. I tried to distinguish them for a long time, but I couldn't find any difference. I also don't know which one to take." Chen Xinyang shook her head and said. Clayden was also a little dumbfounded. If Chen Xinyang didn't know, then they didn't know either. Actually, according to him, they should just take a random path and return if they couldn't. However, no one knew if there would be danger if they took the wrong path, so they said, "Then what should we do? Why don't we split up and take one path each? If everyone wants to go this way, then go this way. If everyone wants to go that way, then go that way. What do you think?" Xiao En's, who had recovered some of his strength at this time, suggested. "That's a good idea." Cheng Tianqiu also nodded in agreement. Chen Xinyang's eyes flashed with a trace of imperceptible joy, but she quickly concealed it and nodded. This is also a good idea. Then, let's do it this way. If you want to go this way, then go this way. If you want to go that way, then go as you please. We'll go this way. Xiaoen's pointed to the right path and said without thinking. I'm with him. Cheng Tianxiu pointed to Xiaoen's and said. Clayden frowned, obviously unable to come to a decision. He glanced at Xiao Chen, hoping that he could come up with an idea. At this time, Mo Xiangyin hesitated for a moment and stood on the right side, saying, We'll also go this way. Elder Heaven Ancestor? Xiao Chen couldn't make up his mind and asked. Chen Xinyang, you can go in the opposite direction from her. Elder Heaven Ancestor suddenly said. Oh. Xiao Chen was surprised. Why must he go in the opposite direction from Chen Xinyang? He was a little puzzled, but since Elder Heaven Ancestor said so, then Elder Heaven Ancestor definitely wouldn't harm him. Therefore, Xiao Chen didn't answer and pretended to be hesitant. He didn't immediately make a decision and instead asked, Sister Chen, which way do you want to go? I think I'll go right. Chen Xinyang said after thinking for a moment. Since all of you go right, I'll go left. Xiao Chen said after thinking for a moment. Clayden was a little puzzled. Why would Xiao Chen go left? Chen Xinyang was proficient in the 5 elements and 8 trigrams and formations. If he followed her, it would be much easier. Why would Xiao Chen choose the opposite direction? Chen Xinyang was also a little surprised, but she didn't say anything. She only nodded and said, Okay. Let's go left too. Granny Nanshan said. It wasn't because of Xiao Chen, but because she felt that it would be easier to split the loot if there were fewer people. As for Chen Xinyang, Granny Nanshan felt that it was a little strange. Ling naturally followed Granny Nanshan. Clayden hesitated for a moment, but he still chose Chen Xinyang's team. After all, he was the one who found Chen Xinyang and she was proficient in formations. Therefore, he felt that it was safer for Chen Xinyang. Xiao Chen didn't force the issue. If he spoke now, it would arouse the suspicion of others. Song Huawu and Xia Shibin were definitely on Xiao Chen's side. Therefore, the number of people on both sides was about the same. Everyone split up and entered the fork. Granny Nanshan, where are you from? You seem rather mysterious. Xiao Chen asked as he walked. This fork was similar to the original path. There was no danger, and there were luminous pearls on both sides. Don't ask questions that you shouldn't ask. Granny Nanshan didn't answer, but Ling did. It's just a few people. It's boring. Let's just have a chat. Xiao Chen said, at your level, you shouldn't be lacking in spirit jades. Why did you still come here? Why do you have so much to say? Ling glared at Xiao Chen. I wanted to tell you something, but I won't say it if you don't want to. Xiao Chen shrugged. He was a little angry. They had promised to give him spirit jades, but they didn't have them. If there were no spirit jades in the ruins, wouldn't they be going back on their word? Granny Nanshan stopped in her tracks and turned to look at Xiao Chen. Why did you disguise yourself and come here? Also, you don't seem to be injured at all. When the formation exploded, it didn't hurt you. You knew about it, so you made preparations, didn't you? After saying this, Granny Nanshan's sharp killing intent suddenly appeared. Xiao Chen shivered. He didn't know what level of expert she was. The only thing Xiao Chen felt was that she was powerful. She was too powerful. Xiao Chen couldn't help but smile bitterly. Although his strength had increased, the illusion had lasted longer. Logically speaking, no one could see through it. Clayden hadn't been able to see through it back then. Clayden had only seen through his illusion because he had locked onto his aura and sensed that he wasn't running away. He hadn't seen through it with his eyes. However, Granny Nanshan was able to see through his disguise. This really surprised Xiao Chen. In theory, neither demonic cultivators nor martial cultivators could see through Xiao Chen's illusion, unless they were cultivators. As expected, even an expert like Ling looked at Xiao Chen with slight doubt. She didn't see anything wrong with the person in front of her. Song Huawu and Xia Shibin, who were behind Xiao Chen, were a little worried. However, they couldn't help at all. After all, their strength was obvious. Chapter 5:10. Granny Nanshan, what are you talking about? Why would I disguise myself? Xiao Chen did not admit it. As for my injuries, I vomited blood earlier. You should have seen it. I only recovered faster because I had some healing pills with me. After we were reflected by the formation, I observed everyone's expression and performance. From the beginning to the end, you didn't take any healing medicine. Granny Nanshan's Chinese turned cold as she said, most importantly, when you're treating your injuries, your face becomes very blurry. It's as if another face is faintly discernible. You must have used the techniques of a demonic cultivator to disguise yourself. Logically speaking, the illusions of demonic cultivators are ineffective against high-level experts. I don't know why you are so powerful. However, you don't have to deny it. This. Xiao Chen was shocked. He had been careless. He had not expected Granny Nanshan to be paying attention to everyone's performance. Granny Nanshan naturally knew whether he had taken any medicine or not. Most importantly, why did the illusion of his face become blurry and faintly discernible? When he thought of this, Xiao Chen roughly understood what had happened. He had expended a large amount of physical strength and vital energy to break the array formation. After that, he had been injured and had to use vital energy to heal himself. Therefore, the vital energy needed to maintain the illusion was naturally less. Everyone else was busy recuperating, so no one paid any attention to Xiao Chen. Therefore, no one else saw it. Chen Xinyang's strength was lower than Xiao Chen's, and it was impossible for her to keep observing Xiao Chen. She did not have Granny Nanshan's ability to control the situation without batting an eyelid. He had not expected Granny Nanshan to see through him. Who are you? What do you want? Linger drew her sword and pointed it at Xiao Chen. She shouted angrily, tell me, or I'll kill you. You used to call me senior and said that you owed me a favor. Now, you want to kill me with your sword. You are really heartless. Since Xiao Chen had been seen through, he did not need to use the illusion and waste his vital energy. Both Song Huawu and Xia Shibin knew his appearance, so he did not need to hide it from them. Hence, under Linger's astonished gaze, Xiao Chen reverted to his original appearance and white fox voice. You are. Linger felt that Xiao Chen's voice was a little familiar, but she didn't recognize his face. She immediately felt a little strange. When did I call you senior, Little Hong's medicine store? Have you forgotten that you brought Granny Nanshan here for treatment? Xiao Chen harumphed and said, you want to give me spirit jades? I didn't expect you to come here to get spirit jades. Ah! Linger was shocked and threw the sword in her hand to the ground. She widened her eyes and looked at Xiao Chen in disbelief. You are that white fox medicine master. Yeah, it seems like you don't pay attention to the situation outside at all. I'm wanted by the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Almost everyone knows that the white fox is me. Xiao Chen said with a bitter smile. Granny Nanshan was also a little surprised. She had been unconscious at the time, so she did not know about Xiao Chen. However, she had heard about these things from Linger. Otherwise, she would not have come here with Linger to find ancient jade for Xiao Chen. At that moment, Granny Nanshan more or less understood that the person in front of her was her savior. The murderous aura on her body immediately disappeared. Ah, the two people next to you are from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Does that mean they recognize you? I'll help you kill them. Ling-er's strength immediately increased, and she was about to attack Song Huawu and Xiaofan. Although she would not kill indiscriminately, she could only attack when her savior, Xiao Chen, was involved. Don't. They are my people. Xiao Chen hurriedly stopped her. Huh? The people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau are on your side? Ling was slightly stunned. A faint blush flashed across Song Huawu's face. Xiao Chen's words were somewhat ambiguous, which made her feel a little embarrassed. However, when she saw that the others did not seem to think too much about it, she nodded and said, I'm deskmate with Xiao Chen. This is his classmate. We can be considered to be on the same side as Xiao Chen. Oh. Everyone from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau goes to school? That's strange. Ling withdrew her murderous aura after hearing that. So it was young hero Xiao who saved me. I thank you here. Granny Nanshan's attitude toward Xiao Chen also changed. To be honest, young hero Xiao, back then, Ling-er promised to get some spirit jade for you. Our sect did not do anything wrong, but the sect's great elder did not believe that you could cure my injury. He felt that Ling-er and I were lying to him on purpose. We deliberately made it sound so serious so that we could get spirit jade for an outsider. What? Didn't Ling-er say that spirit jade was not valued on your side? Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. Why was this great elder so stingy? Why would he not give something that was not that great to others? In the past, they didn't receive much attention. However, things are different now. Some time ago, a teleportation array formation was discovered in an ancient ruin. That array formation uses spirit jades as a source of energy. Therefore, every sect is collecting spirit jades in order to qualify for the teleportation array formation. Granny Nanshan didn't hide anything. Our sect is doing the same. Therefore, if I ask for spirit jade now, the Great Elder will obviously not give it to me easily. So that's how it is. Xiao Chen was somewhat astonished. He had not expected that the teleportation formation would also require spirit jades. It looked like he was a step too late. If he had done so earlier, before the news spread, he would have been able to obtain spirit jades easily. Yes, but since Little Ling has agreed, we've been looking for information about spirit jades. Unfortunately, all the places with spirit jades know about the transportation matrix. Spirit jades have become invaluable, and they can't be obtained easily. That's why we came here when we heard that there are ancient ruins here that might contain spirit jades, Granny Nanshan said. That's right, but since Little Ling has agreed, we've been looking for spirit jades all this time. I also heard that there is spirit jade here, so I came here, Xiao Chen said. However, I am not sure if there really is one. We can only take it one step at a time. Granny Nanshan said, however, don't worry. We will do our best to fulfill our promise. When the time comes, if there is no spirit jade here, we will help you look for it elsewhere. Thank you very much. Xiao Chen cupped his fists. He had also figured out that Ling had not sent spirit jade over previously, not because she had not kept her promise, but because they had not been able to obtain spirit jade. There is no need to thank me. I am very grateful that you have helped me heal my injuries. Granny Nanshan said. By the way, young hero Xiao, your strength is so weak. How were you able to heal my injuries? Weak. Xiao Chen was a little embarrassed. The strength that he was so proud of had become weak in Granny Nanshan's words. I am an apothecary, so I am more proficient in these things. As for Ling-er, I remember that you were at the peak of the 10th level last time. How did you become a 3rd level martial master now? I was also injured last time, so my strength was suppressed, Ling said. You are so powerful. Who could hurt you? Xiao Chen was stunned. My master went berserk during cultivation, and I was guarding her, so I was affected. Ling blushed. She could not blame anyone but herself, so she felt a little embarrassed. Is that so? Xiaofan broke out in a sweat. Since we are all on the same side, let's discuss how we should act. Don't advance rashly. Granny Nanshan reminded him. Many ancient ruins are full of danger. It is not a place that can be entered easily. All right. Xiaofan nodded and said, Granny Nanshan, how much do you know about the 5 elements and 8 trigrams? I know a little, but not much, Granny Nanshan said. However, although Chen Xinyang knows about it, I feel that there is something wrong with her. She is up to no good. Oh? Xiaofan could not help but nod approvingly. Not bad. Granny Nanshan, you can also see that there is something wrong with her? There is something wrong. Logically speaking, when we separated at the fork in the road, she should have asked everyone to take the same path. That way, with so many people, if we encountered danger, we could work together to resolve it. However, she did not. Instead, she asked us to choose. This is a little strange, Granny Nanshan said. This does not conform to normal logic. Moreover, when she saw our people separated, she was secretly delighted. There is one more thing that I suspect. Xiaofan said, back then, she said that we still had to break the array when we left, so she did not deliberately let everyone get hurt. However, she did not say it before and only said it later. In that case, she should not have asked us to separate. If everyone got separated, it would be very difficult for them to break the array with only a few people. Yes, what young hero Xiao said makes sense. Granny Nanshan said. What does this mean? I am guessing that there must be another way out of the ancient ruins. She separated us so that there would be fewer people to split the good treasures. That should be the case. Xiaofan nodded. So, there is nothing good on this path? Xia Shibin asked in a daze. Not necessarily. Xiaofan shook his head. Although Chen Xinyang knows a little, it is obvious that she has not been here before. Her choice might not be the right one. That is true. Xia Shibin nodded. Boss, shall we continue forward now? Let's walk and see. Xiaofan said. By the way, Xiaofan, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia said that he sent you a message. Take a look. Song Huawu did not want to remind him before, but now that everyone had made it public, she said it directly. Oh? Xiaofan took out his mobile phone. They might not have reached the depths of the ruins yet, but there was still a phone signal. Perhaps this mobile phone was specially customized by the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, and it was quite awesome. Yang Tan's mobile phone had disappeared a long time ago. This was a new one that Xiaofan had applied for, and it still used Yang Tan's number and information. The message read, "Help me find a small booklet called The 5 Poison Secrets in the Ancient Ruins. If it is found by others, try to snatch it back. I will find a way to coordinate this year's cultivation resources and give you 50% more than usual." Chapter 5:11. After reading it, Xiaofan handed the phone to Song Huawu and asked, "What is this? Did he tell you?" "No. It seems like it wasn't an order from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, but his own. You have a beneficial relationship with him, but we don't. He wouldn't tell us about this." Song Huawu looked at Xia Zhili's promise and immediately gritted her teeth in anger. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau was supposed to be a high and mighty existence, but it has been turned into a mess by these black sheep. Cultivation resources were supposed to belong to everyone, so he could only embezzle from others if he gave you more. Our resources were all embezzled by these vermin and given to their trusted aides. I really want to kill him. Xiaofan hadn't expected Song Huawu to have such a sense of justice. However, when he thought about it, it made sense. Song Huawu had been diligent and earnest, yet her cultivation resources had been embezzled. Meanwhile, Yang Jianan was a bootlicker, yet he received more cultivation resources than others every year. How could the others feel indignant? Granny Nanshan, have you heard that there is a booklet in the ancient ruins called the 5 Poisons Secret Manual? Xiao Chen couldn't help but ask. Granny Nanshan was slightly taken aback. She then shook her head and said, I only paid attention to the spirit jades. I'm not interested in anything else. This ancient ruins is a 3rd grade to 5th grade ruin. Although there are good treasures inside, they are relatively inferior. I don't care for them. Xiao Chen was a little surprised. If Granny Nanshan didn't care for the items in the ancient ruins, then how powerful was the power behind her? However, Xiao Chen didn't bother asking about Granny Nanshan's background. Everyone had already been honest with each other, so Granny Nanshan had naturally said what she could. As for the rest, there was no need to say it. Even if Xiao Chen asked, they wouldn't say anything. Young hero Xiao, you and the Hong Clan Chamber of Commerce. Granny Nanshan suddenly asked. Hongzhu and I are good friends. Xiao Chen didn't hide anything. I came to help her look after the store that day. It seems like I'm really lucky. If Medicine Master Chen or Medicine Master Lu were here, they might not have been able to heal my injuries so quickly. It's not just that our great elder doesn't believe it. If I hadn't experienced it myself, I wouldn't have believed it either. Granny Nanshan said, young hero Zhao's medical skills are really amazing. This old one is truly impressed. Granny Nanshan is too kind, Xiao Chen said modestly. Now I finally understand why you were injured just now, but you healed so quickly. Thinking of your medical skills, it's not hard to understand, Granny Nanshan said with a smile. As they continued to move forward, Song Huawu lowered her voice and said to Xiao Chen, didn't you want to bring Yi Xiaoye along? Why didn't you bring it? I'm afraid I'll be exposed. Xiao Chen said, the fewer people who know about my identity, the better. If she comes, people might be suspicious. Moreover, if there's anything good here, I won't forget about her. Song Huawu nodded. Fortunately, you know Granny Nanshan. Otherwise, I'm afraid things would be difficult to deal with. Yes, it seems like choosing this way was the right choice. Xiao Chen said, but in his heart, he asked the Elder Heaven Ancestor, is this really the right way? According to my observation, it should be possible to go either way. It's just that the paths are different to confuse people. The designer of the ruins didn't specify which path is correct. According to my experience, this is the case, the Elder Heaven Ancestor said. In other words, both paths might be safe? Xiao Chen asked. Yes, but one of them might be slightly more dangerous, but it can still be resisted. The Elder Heaven Ancestor said, of course, this is only my judgment. It might not be accurate. It might be smooth sailing. All right. Xiao Chen nodded. In fact, what he wanted to know the most was whether this path was correct or not. It seemed like there shouldn't be a problem now. Sure enough, there was no obstruction along the way. Although the luminous pearls on both sides were bright and tempting, no one touched them. However, to everyone's disappointment, although there was no danger along the way, there was nothing good either. After walking for a while, a vast hall appeared in front of them. Obviously, they had reached their destination. They came to the hall from the exit and saw another passage beside the passage. It should be the one that Chen Xinyang and the others had taken before. Sure enough, the Elder Heaven Ancestor was right. These two paths could lead to this place. However, Chen Xinyang wasn't in the hall. In the distance, there was a stone door. Did Chen Xinyang and the others enter the stone door first? However, seeing that the stone door was intact, it didn't seem like anyone had passed through it. Are they not here yet? Xiao Chen asked. Granny Nanshan stared at the ground. After a while, she said, I don't think so. The dust on the ground is moving in a regular pattern, which proves that no one has passed through here. Xiaofan looked at the ground carefully. Indeed, that was the case. However, he was a little worried. He wasn't worried about Chen Xinjiang, as her death had nothing to do with him. He was worried about Shen Hongjian and Cheng Tianxiu. Although the Qing family and the Xiao family were at odds, he was still the grandfather of the young mistress. It was hard to say if he was involved with Cheng Mengqiang, so Xiaofan was still quite worried. As he was thinking about this, he saw a figure covered in blood stumbling out of another passage. As soon as she came out, she fell to the ground and panted heavily. Chen Xinjiang. Song Huawu was shocked. When she saw who it was, she looked behind her. There was no one there, so she couldn't help but ask, "Where are the others?" There was a trap. They all fell into a trap. Chen Xinjiang said while panting. Luckily, I know a bit about traps, so I was able to escape. What? A trap? Where is the trap? Xiaofan quickly asked, what exactly is going on? That Xiaoen's was too greedy. He saw a treasure chest and wanted to take it, but he triggered a trap. Clayden and the others didn't have time to dodge, so they were hit by the trap. Chen Xinjiang said. Then they. Xiaofan's heart sank. After that, the ground cracked, and they all fell in. I was lucky enough to escape, but I was seriously injured by the trap. Chen Xinjiang spat out a mouthful of blood as she spoke. Xiaofan fell into deep thought. Was the other path really as the elder heaven ancestor had said dangerous? However, this Chen Xinjiang was very suspicious. She ran out of the passage and fell to the ground after exiting the passage. Wasn't that too fake? Why didn't she crawl out? Thinking of this, Xiaofan raised an eyebrow and asked coldly, did you kill them and escape by yourself? Since everyone here was Xiaofan's people, there was nothing to be afraid of. Granny Nanshan would support him. Ah! Young hero Xiao, how is that possible? Elder sister isn't that kind of person. Besides, what good would it do me if they died? There are many dangers in the ancient ruins. Everyone should work together. Chen Xinjiang was stunned. She quickly said, moreover, when we go out, we still need everyone to break the formation together. Without them, it won't be easy to break the formation, is that so? Then why didn't you let us go with you? Why did you want to act alone? What if we can't make it here, and you only have a few people left? Without the 3 martial masters on our side, can you break the formation? Xiaofan asked with a cold smile. This. Chen Xinjiang didn't expect Xiaofan to consider things so carefully. She realized that she had been careless. Her expression was a little uncertain. Moreover, you didn't mention anything about breaking the formation when we entered the ancient ruins. Instead, you only mentioned it after. I'm afraid there must be another way out, right? And you said it on the spur of the moment. You didn't think too much about it, which led to these loopholes. Xiaofan asked coldly. This. Chen Xinjiang was a little speechless. She didn't expect Xiaofan to be so careful and see through so many problems. Chen Xinjiang was a little unwilling to give up. She turned to look at Granny Nanshan and Song Huawu, but she saw that they were also looking at her coldly. Thinking of this, she could only say, fine, I admit that I was a little petty, but Xiaoen's was really greedy. At most, I didn't help him and didn't stop him in time, you. Xiaofan's killing intent soared. He looked at Chen Xinjiang angrily. Even if Xiaoen's is a problem, let him die on his own. The others are innocent. I know, but there are limited treasures in this ancient ruin. I don't want so many people to take a share. Chen Xinjiang said, they caused the problem themselves, so it's understandable that they have to bear the consequences. Now that we are the only ones left, we can get a little more, Song Huawu knew about the relationship between Xiao Chen, Clay Den, and Cheng Tianxiu. She looked at Chen Xinyang and shouted, "Humph, treating human lives like grass. Chen Xinyang, do you know what you're doing?" "That has nothing to do with me," Chen Xinyang said. "If they had walked obediently, there wouldn't have been any problems. At most, I would have been selfish and didn't save them. But isn't the cultivation world like this? Take us to save them now." Song Huawu understood what Xiao Chen was thinking. It wasn't convenient for Xiao Chen to say it, so she said on behalf of Xiao Chen, "This is the responsibility of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. We have to save them. If you want to go, go on your own." "I'm not going," Chen Xinyang said. "I have no obligation to cooperate with you. Granny Nanshan, young hero Ling, young hero Xiao, let's go first. If the people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau want to go back, then let them." In Chen Xinyang's opinion, these people would definitely support her. After all, who would want to go back? However, she didn't expect Granny Nanshan to also say coldly, "Saving them is more important. Chen Xinyang, take us back unless you want to die. You don't meddle in other people's business." "I won't go back. I don't believe you can do anything to me. Without me, you won't be able to solve the ancient tomb's mechanisms." Chapter 5:12. Look at the stone door over there. It's also a formation. You can't break it. Chen Xinyang said, "So, if you want to break the formation, you have to listen to me. Otherwise, if I die, you will be trapped here and can't get out." "Is that so?" Xiao Chen said coldly, "Don't think that just because you got a few formation flags and know some shallow formation, you are a grandmaster. Even without you, we can still break the formation. You know that it's a formation flag." Chen Xinyang looked at Xiao Chen in surprise. The small flag in her hand was a very rare existence in the martial arts world. No one knew about it because these formation flags would be integrated into the formation after it was set up and could not be seen at all. These remaining formations were set up by the great powers of the ancient times, so very few people knew about formation flags. They didn't even know their names, let alone recognize them. "Don't be surprised, I also know about formations. Didn't you see that I wasn't injured? I had a premonition that the formation would explode, so I dodged it at that moment," Xiao Chen said casually. "Ah." Chen Xinyang looked at Xiao Chen and bit her lip, unwilling to give up. "If you don't want to die, then come back with us," Xiao Chen said. "All right." Chen Xinyang hesitated for a moment and nodded. They continued to move forward through the passage that Chen Xinyang had passed through. After walking for about half the distance, Chen Xinyang stopped and said, "It's here. Look, there are a lot of bloodstains on the ground." Xiao Chen looked down and sure enough, there were bloodstains on the ground. It was very frightening. "How did this mechanism open?" Xiao Chen asked. "I don't know. There was a treasure chest there before. Qiao Ens touched it and triggered the mechanism, but then the treasure chest was swept under the ground," Chen Xinyang said, pointing to a place not far away. Sure enough, there were traces of a chest on the ground. There was no dust, but there was dust everywhere. Xiao Chen arrived near the treasure chest. He didn't see any mechanisms or anything special, so he was a little puzzled. At this time, Granny Nanshan, Linger, Song Huawu, and Xia Shibin were also helping him look for mechanisms nearby, but they didn't find anything. Suddenly, from the ceiling of the passageway, a long iron block that was chained up by a chain suddenly appeared and smashed towards Xiao Chen and the others. The cross-section of the iron block was almost as wide as a passageway, and it was very long. There was no way to dodge, no way to dodge. At this moment, Chen Xinyang was standing not too far away, looking at them with a smug smile on her face. There was a hint of ridicule in her smile, as though she was saying, "Are you all stupid? Let you come back." Clang! Granny Nanshan suddenly roared as the metal block came crashing down. She pushed with both hands, trying to push the metal block up. However, the metal block was made of some unknown material. It was extremely heavy. Even with all her strength, Granny Nanshan could only slow down the speed of the metal block's descent, making it slightly slower. Granny Nanshan was stunned. She was a little shocked. She knew her own strength very well. This metal block didn't look very big, so how could it be so powerful? There's no need to resist. This is the power of the array formation. Chen Xinyang laughed sinisterly. All of you shall die. There was a path to heaven, but you refused to take it. Since you insisted on dying, I shall grant your wish. Go down and be buried with Clayden and the others. So you were the one who caused their deaths. Xiao Chen shouted angrily. That's right. It's too late now. Following Chen Xinyang's words, the large piece of metal fell down and smashed into Xiao Chen and the others' bodies. Although Granny Nanshan had blocked it, Xiao Chen and the others couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood when the metal block came crashing down. They were seriously injured and couldn't get out from under the metal block. Goodbye, everyone. As Chen Xinyang spoke, she reached out and casually pressed a few times on the wall. Suddenly, a huge crack appeared on the ground under the metal block. Everyone fell down quickly, and the crack above them slowly closed up. When the ground was completely closed up, the metal block rose up again and was completely hidden in the ceiling. Only the blood that Xiao Chen and the others had just spat out was left on the ground. A bunch of idiots. I wanted to keep you guys as cannon fodder, but I didn't expect you to be so eager to die. I can only fulfill your wish. Chen Xinyang sneered and quickly ran toward the hall. Xiao Chen and the others fell rapidly in the darkness. Everyone was falling very fast, so it was difficult to see the situation below. Even Granny Nanshan couldn't sense it. However, Xiao Chen's six senses were powerful, so he could still see that there was a pool below them. This made him heave a sigh of relief. Even if everyone was an expert and Xiao Chen was a cultivator, falling from such a high height would definitely be a problem. They would definitely be smashed to pieces. Plop. Everyone fell into the pool. Apart from Xiao Chen, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. Luckily, they were still alive. The pool was a little deep, but everyone didn't care. They quickly swam to the shore. At that moment, a weak voice came from the shore. Who, Clayden? Xiao Chen looked up. Indeed, there were a few people sitting not far from the shore of the pool. It was Clayden and the others. Xiao Chen could see them clearly, but they couldn't see Xiao Chen and the others. Therefore, Xiao Chen said, Clayden, right? Are you guys all right? We're all injured. Are you guys injured too? We were tricked by that B*TCH, Chen Xinyang. Clayden was a little angry. We were seriously injured and fell down. Fortunately, there was a pool and we were able to keep our lives. We almost died here. Yeah, that Chen Xinyang is really despicable. If I can get out, I'll definitely tear her to pieces. The one who spoke was Mo Xiangyin. My son's strength is weak, and he's currently unconscious. I'm so angry. Xiao Chen looked over. Sure enough, Mo Zhiqiu was lying beside Mo Xiangyin. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. Not far away, there was also a person lying beside Cheng Tianqiu. It was Qiao En's. Since Mo Zhiqiu was unconscious, Qiao En's wasn't any better. We were also tricked by Chen Xinyang. Xiao Chen said. When we came out of the passage, we saw Chen Xinyang stumbling out alone. I was suspicious and asked for your whereabouts. She said that you fell into a trap, so I asked her to lead us to look for you. In the end, you came to look for us? Clay Den was a little excited. Sure enough, Xiao Chen wouldn't abandon him. However, that Chen Xinyang was too vicious. She seemed to be very familiar with some of the traps in the ancient ruins. Even if they were very strong, they still couldn't guard against her. Yes, we felt that there was something wrong with her, so we came to look for you. I didn't expect to fall into her trap. Xiao Chen secretly sighed. It was already too late when he discovered the problem. Otherwise, he could have instantly killed her with a fireball. However, when the iron block smashed down, he didn't have enough time to circulate his yuan qi. Young hero Xiao, I really have to thank you. You can be considered a righteous person. If it was someone else, they would have wished for as few people as possible to divide the treasures. I didn't expect you to find us. Clay Den said with some emotion. That's right, young hero Xiao, this old man is also very grateful. Cheng Tianqiu said sincerely. May I know how old young hero Xiao Chang is? Are you married? Xiao Chen was a little speechless. What does this mean? However, he still said, Hero Cheng, let's think about how to get out of here. Now is not the time to talk about these trivial things. The person beside you, is he dead? He's still alive, but... Cheng Tianqiu sighed. He originally thought that Xiao En's was a good person. He had both status and background. If he married into the Cheng family, it would definitely bring great development to the Cheng family. However, along the way to the ancient ruins, Cheng Tianqiu was already a little disappointed in him. From what he said, he only wanted Cheng Menjing to be his concubine, not his wife. How could this Cheng Tianqiu agree? No matter what, the Cheng family was the #1 family in Songning. Moreover, the Cheng family was still counting on the Qiao family for development. If Cheng Menjing was only Qiao En's concubine, how could the Cheng family receive the corresponding strong support? Without strong support, wouldn't the Cheng family have no benefits? Moreover, this was not all. After entering the ancient ruins, Cheng Tianqiu discovered that this Qiao En's was really greedy. He was even more greedy than him. He was from an aristocratic family in the secular world. It was normal for him to be greedy for money. However, he was a warrior guild law enforcement hall deacon and a member of the Qiao family. Such a high level, yet he was still greedy for money. Forget about the night luminescent pearl. That was what Cheng Tianqiu also wanted. However, Cheng Tianqiu didn't dare to touch the private room after that. He had learned his lesson from the night luminescent pearl. He was already very careful, but Xiao En still touched it. If it weren't for his greed, would these people have fallen for Chen Xinyang's trick? Everyone dispersed. Chen Xinyang wasn't that easy to deal with. What is this place? Did you guys investigate before? Xiao Chen asked. We didn't dare to investigate. It's pitch black here. We can't see anything. There's no light at all. Cheng Tianqiu sighed. Following the sound, we held hands and moved forward to investigate. However, we discovered that there were many dried bones not far from us. We didn't dare to go any further. It was impossible to tell north from south. Who would dare to act blindly without thinking? Xiao Chen nodded. Dried bones? Could it be that someone fell down and died here? Now that he thought about it, it was possible. It was pitch black here. Whether it was a martial artist or a martial artist, their perception of the martial path was very poor. Moreover, it was impossible for them to see in the dark. If other martial artists fell down and couldn't find a way out, it was very likely that they would be trapped here and die. If he didn't come down, Clay Den and the others would also have nowhere to go. However, Xiao Chen couldn't ignore Clay Den. No matter what, as long as his relationship with Shen Jingxian existed, Xiao Chen could only care about him. Chapter 5:13. I'll take a look first. Follow me later. Xiaochen thought for a moment and said, I'm a demonic cultivator. The mantra I practice is quite special and my perception is quite strong. Follow you? Who knows if you'll trick us or not? Mo Xiangyin said. If you don't believe me, you can stay here. No one will force you to follow me. Xiaochen said, don't think that you have to follow me just because I came here to find you. There's no need. Mo Xiangyin hesitated. Indeed, if Xiaochen did not force them to leave, they could choose not to. I'll follow you, young hero Xiao, Clayden said without hesitation. I'll follow you too. Cheng Tianxiu knew that staying here was equivalent to waiting for death. Previously, he had impulsively opened up a path and ended up touching a pile of bones. He wanted to go out more than the others. Shen Hongjian was a martial arts fanatic and did not have a strong sense of belonging to the Shen family. It was not a big deal for him to die outside. Mo Xiangyin's family of 3 was here, so it was not a big deal to die together. However, Cheng Tianxiu was different. He was the head of the Cheng family in Songning. He was worried about the Cheng family and did not want to stay here. As long as there was hope, he would fight for it. Moreover, in his opinion, since Xiao Chang and the others came back to find them, they were definitely not bad people. There was no harm in following them. Then we'll follow too. Mo Xiangyin gritted his teeth and said. Follow us now? We can't follow them for nothing. Go carry that Xiao something. Xiaochen said. He did not let Mo Xiangyin carry Xiao En's, so Cheng Tianxiu had to carry him. Why should I carry him? Mo Xiangyin snorted. My son needs someone to carry him. Don't you have a wife? What does she do? Can't she carry him? Xiaochen snorted coldly. Don't be so ungrateful. If you don't want to carry him, then stay here and don't follow me. You. Mo Xiangyin was somewhat annoyed. I'm just following you. What can you do to me? In this darkness, if I want to kill you, it's as easy as flipping my hand. Xiaochen threatened indifferently. You. Mo Xiangyin's heart skipped a beat when he thought of Xiaochen's fireball martial skill. Despite his reluctance, he still said, fine, I'll carry it. Cheng Tianxiu originally wanted to carry Xiao En's on his back. No matter what, he had to take Xiao En's with him. He followed him here. If he died, even if they didn't blame him, the Xiao family wouldn't let it go. Cheng Tianxiu pulled Xiao En's over and carefully handed him to Mo Xiangyin. Then, Mo Xiangyin carried Xiao En's on his back, while his wife, Ma Xiaoying, carried their son Mo Zhiqiu. Follow me, and don't fall behind. If anyone falls behind, just say the word and we'll pull one by one. Xiaochen said as he grabbed Song Huawu's hand. Song Huawu held Ling held Granny Nanshan, and Granny Nanshan held Xiaoxibin. Then, the others formed a long line. Only then did Xiaochen walk forward. Apart from Xiaochen, no one else would die here unless they had some kind of scanning equipment. But who would have prepared scanning equipment here? Even if they had, it would have been damaged when they fell into the pool, so it probably couldn't be used anymore, right? Xiaochen surveyed his surroundings. This was an extremely large place that resembled an underground palace. It was very spacious, and there were stone pillars in the middle supporting it. However, the vastness of this place made it difficult for people to get a clear sense of direction. The most confusing thing was that these stone pillars weren't built according to the rules. Instead, they were all crooked and rugged. If one couldn't see anything while walking among them, it was very likely that they would end up like a ghost walking on a wall. No matter how they walked, they still couldn't find their way out. They just didn't know where they were. However, Xiaochen could see, so there was no problem of not being able to get out. However, as far as he could see, Xiaochen couldn't see the end and didn't know which way to go. However, it would be easy to find the edge first. As he thought of this, Xiaofan identified a direction and quickly led everyone forward. In the beginning, everyone just followed Xiaofan all the way forward. However, as they walked and walked, Mo Xiangyin became a little worried. "Young hero Xiao, can you get out? Why do I feel like there's no end even after walking so far? It's even further than when we walked through the long corridor above." "If you don't believe me, then don't follow me," Xiaofan said coldly. Mo Xiangyin hesitated for a moment and didn't say anything else. Xiaofan continued to walk forward. Finally, after half an hour, they arrived at the edge of the underground palace. The edge here wasn't just a simple wall, but a passageway at regular intervals. There were many passageways. If one couldn't see them, even if they entered one, they would have to walk around inside and come out from another passageway. When they came out again, if they mistakenly thought that they had arrived at a new area and continued to wander around the underground palace, they would never be able to get out. However, the person who designed the underground palace might have left a corresponding number on each passageway for their own convenience. The passageway beside Xiaofan had a large number, 37, written on it, and below it was a small number, 64. Xiaofan guessed that this was passageway 37, and it led to passageway 64. In order to confirm his guess, Xiaofan led everyone into this passageway. Everyone also felt that they had entered a passageway and thought that Xiaofan had found the right exit, so they were a little excited. Of course, Xiaofan didn't say much to them. After walking for a while, Xiaofan came out of a passageway. He looked up and saw that it was indeed passageway 64. It seemed that his previous guess was right. These passageways were all connected. Since he had found the pattern, Xiaofan just needed to find a passageway that wasn't marked as such to enter. Xiaofan led everyone along the wall and continued forward. There were several times when Mo Xiangyin wanted to ask again, but he held back. Why would he ask if the others didn't? After walking for a while, Xiaofan finally stopped, and everyone followed suit. Mo Xiangyin asked, "What's wrong? Did we go the wrong way? You talk too much nonsense." Xiaofan was in the middle of his joy, but he was annoyed when he heard Mo Xiangyin's words. "Are you going or not? If you're not, then F*ck off." Mo Xiangyin was stunned and quickly shut his mouth. "If I've found it right, we can get out of this passageway." Xiaofan looked at the symbol on the passageway in front of him. There was only a symbol, and no number. Xiaofan thought about it and walked in without hesitation. After turning a few rounds, a faint light appeared in front of him. When everyone saw this, they were a little excited. Light! It was actually light. It seemed that they had found the right place. "Young hero Xiao, have we found the right place?" Granny Nanshan was also a little surprised. Even she couldn't accurately pinpoint their position in the dark, but Xiaofan could. Wasn't this too amazing? It should be. Xiaofan nodded. Because there was light, everyone didn't need to hold hands anymore. They could see the situation in front of them, so they all let go of each other. However, Xiaofan could see, so it wasn't obvious when he came here in the dark. He didn't let go of Song Huawu, so he still held her hand and walked forward. Song Huawu blushed a little. Previously, it could be said that she had no choice. It was fine if Xiaofan held her hand, but now that there was light, why was Xiaofan still holding her hand? She wanted to let go, but she was afraid that she would lose face if she let go of Xiaofan, so she let Xiaofan hold her hand and continued walking forward. Xia Shibin saw it, but he didn't say anything. He had long felt that there was something going on between Xiaofan and Song Huawu. Otherwise, why wouldn't Xiaofan change seats with Yang Tan? He would rather offend Yang Tan than agree. As for the others, they weren't that gossipy and had long ignored this situation. They were focused on getting out of here, so they didn't care about anything else. The further they went, the brighter it became. Finally, everyone saw the luminous pearls on both sides of the road. Moreover, since there was light, everyone could feel that the road was sloping. In other words, they might have reached the ruins from before and walked out of the underground palace. Everyone was a little excited. Cheng Tianxiu was the happiest. He had been in despair before, but now that he was out, he felt that young hero Xiao Chang was really extraordinary. He was simply too amazing. From the corner of his eyes, he noticed that Xiao Chen was holding Song Huawu's small hand. Cheng Tianxiu was stunned for a moment before a smile flashed across his mouth. Looking at Song Huawu's shy and awkward look, Cheng Tianxiu thought that Xiao Chang wanted to take advantage of Song Huawu, and Song Huawu couldn't say anything. It seems like he's a person who likes beauties. I wonder if he's interested in Cheng Menjing? I have to properly investigate this Xiao Chang's background. This person isn't an ordinary person. However, as the crowd walked forward, they suddenly heard a faint sound coming from the front. This caused them to be instantly shocked. There's someone in front? Who could it be? Logically speaking, if there was someone in the ancient ruins, it could only be Chen Xinyang. However, how could there be such fighting sounds when Chen Xinyang was alone? What was going on? Could there be other people? Everyone consciously stopped talking and walked forward carefully. They wanted to find out what was going on. Everyone was a cautious person, so it was impossible for them to casually make a sound and expose themselves. As they walked forward, finally, at the entrance of the passage in front of them, a place that looked like an inquiry appeared. Xiao Chen looked from afar. This wasn't the hall from before. This was because just the color of the floor and the carvings in the hall were different. Everyone came to the exit of the passage, but they didn't walk out. Under Xiao Chen's signal, they just stood at the entrance of the passage and looked out carefully. They only saw that not far away, Chen Xinyang was standing in front of a stone door, breaking an array. She threw small flags in different directions at the stone door. Then, with her other hand, she kept attacking the stone door with martial arts. Chapter 514. Xiao Chen took a closer look. This time, Chen Xinyang did not seem to be throwing the small flags randomly like before. Instead, she was throwing the formation flags into the formation in front of the stone door one by one in a systematic manner. Elder Heaven Ancestor, can she break the formation by herself? Xiao Chen asked curiously. It looks like it's possible. What she knows is definitely not the superficial knowledge she had before. She's actually proficient in some formation techniques. Although she's not particularly proficient, she does know a thing or two. From the direction in which she threw the flags, it can be seen that she's constantly weakening the formation's energy. In this way, she can completely break the formation by herself. Elder Heaven Ancestor said. No wonder. Xiao Chen said. This Chen Xinyang dared to directly bring them into the underground palace, leaving her alone. Presumably, she has a way to break the formation by herself. However, it's more complicated and laborious. If she could get some free labor, she naturally wouldn't be happy. Previously, she had separated everyone, killed one group, and left the other group alive. This was to leave some free labor. Based on Chen Xinyang's vicious nature, even if they didn't go looking for Clay Den, she would still find an opportunity to kill them after they helped her break the formation. Mo Xiangyin's eyes were bloodshot. He didn't know whether his son was alive or dead. He also didn't know whether he could survive and leave the ruins. Therefore, when he saw his enemy, Chen Xinyang, he wanted to rush out and fight her. However, Xiao Chen waved his hand, telling him not to be impulsive. He mouthed a hint, wait until she breaks the formation first. Xiao Chen certainly wouldn't let go of such free labor. This Chen Xinyang wanted to use them as laborers. How could Xiao Chen not have the same idea? Finally, a loud bang came from the formation in front of the stone door. Chen Xinyang was so scared that she hurriedly dodged. Obviously, the formation had been broken by her. On the other side, Mo Xiangyin, who was standing beside Xiao Chen, had already reached the end of his patience. He abandoned Xiao En's and rushed out, shouting, "Chen Xinyang, you be *tch, hand over your life." Chen Xinyang was stunned for a moment. Her footsteps slowed down. As a result, the energy from the explosion of the formation directly affected her, causing her to fly out with a bang. She spat out a mouthful of blood and fell heavily to the ground. Why aren't you dead?" Chen Xinyang turned her head and stared at Mo Xiangyin and the others in shock. It would have been fine if it was just Mo Xiangyin, but Granny Nanshan, Xiao Chang, and the others had all walked out of the passageway and were staring at her coldly. "Are you surprised?" "Chen Xinyang, I didn't expect it to be you who schemed to kill us." Xiao Chen had a good impression of her before. At the very least, he thought she was better than the other person Clay Den had found. But now, it seemed that she was a bad person. "I really didn't expect you to still be alive." Chen Xinyang decided to shed all pretense of cordiality. "However, you can't kill me. You still need my help to break the formation. Otherwise, you won't be able to enter or leave. Without me, you will die." "Mo Xiangyin, kill her," Xiao Chen said coldly. "Ha! All right." Mo Xiangyin pulled out his sword and stabbed it into Chen Xinyang's chest. She had been seriously injured from breaking the formation, so she didn't even have time to counterattack or dodge. She had already become a ghost under Mo Xiangyin's sword. Chen Xinyang still had a look of disbelief on her face before she died. She didn't believe that Xiao Chang had really asked someone to kill her. Without her, how would they get out? How would they break the formation? How was that possible? She had died with everlasting regret. That's right, young hero Xiao. Without Chen Xinyang, would we be able to get out? Cheng Tianxiu suddenly remembered the key problem. Chen Xinyang was right. They didn't know how to break the formation. "Don't you understand how you got up here? Is there a need for her?" Xiao Chen said coldly. "That's right. Young hero Xiao is also proficient in these things. No wonder. Then we really don't need this vicious woman anymore. It's good that she's dead, so that she won't harm us again." Cheng Tianxiu nodded in relief as he thought about how Xiao Chang had led them out of the underground palace without a hitch. Mo Xiangyin was infuriated. After he had killed someone, he regretted it a little. However, after hearing Xiao Chang's words, he calmed down. "Young hero Xiao, don't worry. The few of us will follow your lead. When we find a good treasure, you can pick it first. As for the rest, you can decide how you want to split it. We won't have any complaints. Although I, Mo Xiangyin, am an arrogant person, I know how to repay kindness. Killing Chen Xinyang will make me very happy." "That's right. We will listen to young hero Xiao." Clay Den hurriedly agreed. In his opinion, his great-grandson-in-law would not mistreat him. "We don't need our spiritual jades. We will give them to young hero Xiao," Grandma Nanshan said. "We, the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, also support young hero Xiao," Song Huawu said. I naturally have nothing to say." Cheng Tianxiu wanted Xiao Chang to be his grandson-in-law, so he naturally wouldn't say anything. Furthermore, with so many people supporting Xiao Chang, there was no point in declaring it himself. "All right. Xia Shibin, bring Chen Xinyang's backpack over. I have a use for it." Since everyone had decided, there were naturally no objections. Xiao Chen looked at the broken stone door and walked in. The elder heaven ancestor hadn't said anything about danger here. No problem. Xia Shibin picked up Chen Xinyang's backpack and carried it on his back. Everyone followed Xiao Chen inside. Grandma Nanshan was a little puzzled. Young hero Xiao, we have already passed through 2 halls. Why haven't we seen any treasures? If I'm not wrong, this relic should be the warehouse of a big sect or family in ancient times. There should have been something in the 2 halls that we passed through before, but it was taken away by the people who came here first. Xiao Chen thought for a moment and said, if I'm not wrong, we aren't the only ones who have been to these ruins. Several groups of people have come before, and some even died in the abyss. As for Chen Xinyang, she should have obtained some information from the people who came here before. That's why she knows about these ruins so well. So that's how it is. In other words, there should be treasures in those 2 halls, but the treasures have already been taken away. Is that so? Ling asked after listening. Yes, of course, it's just a guess. Otherwise, it's impossible for there to be nothing. Xiao Chen said. After these formations are broken, they have an automatic recovery effect. After a period of time, they will automatically accumulate energy and return to their previous state. Therefore, even if they have been broken before, they still need to be broken again before we come here. If all the formations have been broken, then wouldn't our trip be in vain? Clayden asked with some disappointment. That's right, but I hope that's not the case, Xiao Chen said. Yeah, I hope that's not the case. Mo Xiangyin also nodded. After they passed through the passage, they saw another hall in front of them. However, this hall was different from the previous one. There were several boxes and shelves on both sides of the hall. Everyone was pleasantly surprised and quickly walked over to take a look. Xiao Chen didn't stop them because there didn't seem to be any mechanism here. The mechanism in the passage probably wasn't caused by Qiaoen's looking at the treasure box, but by Chen Xinyang. Otherwise, why would Xiao Chen fall down the second time? Sure enough, when everyone opened the lids of the boxes and the doors of the shelves, nothing out of the ordinary happened. However, to everyone's disappointment, there was nothing here. The boxes were empty, and the shelves were also empty. It seems that someone has taken it away. Cheng Tianqiu said disappointedly. Could it be that these ancient ruins are simply a lie and are empty? It's hard to say. Xiao Chen combined Chen Xinyang's situation with the white bones he saw in the underground palace. He had already determined that someone had been here, so it wasn't too surprising that there was nothing here. In this hall, there was still a stone door, and in front of the stone door was another formation. However, this time, Xiao Chen didn't let everyone attack it. Instead, he let Xia Shibin take Chen Xinyang's backpack. Xiao Chen looked inside and saw a bag of formation flags and a map. The map depicted the situation of the ruins. To Xiao Chen's relief, the map only drew up to this point. In front of the stone door, there were a few question marks. It was probably because the people who came here before didn't break the formation to open the stone door. On the side, there were some papers that recorded Chen Xinyang's analysis on how to break the stone door. This wasn't of much use to Xiao Chen. It seemed that Chen Xinyang deliberately used everyone as cannon fodder, but she didn't want to die here. She really deserved to be unlucky. Elder Heaven Ancestor, how do I break this formation? Xiao Chen asked shamelessly. I said do it. Elder Heaven Ancestor didn't talk nonsense. Sometimes, he really didn't know how to deal with such a disciple. Everyone, stay away from the side. I'm going to break the formation. Xiao Chen said in a very arrogant manner. You can break the formation by yourself? That's too amazing. Young Master Chang is so powerful. Xia Shibin flattered. He was used to flattering Yang Tan, so it was natural for him to do so. Mo Xiangyin glanced at Xia Shibin and thought to himself. This Supernatural Investigation Bureau is also flattering Xiao Chang, really. But thinking about it, this Xiao Chang is really amazing. Everyone was able to escape because of him. Xiaofan followed Elder Heaven Ancestors' instructions and slowly threw the formation flags into the formation in front of the stone door. The direction, order, and timing of the formation flags were very particular. If there was a single mistake, the whole thing would be useless. However, with a super expert like Elder Heaven Ancestor around, Xiaofan only had to do as he was told. Soon, a loud bang came from the stone door, and it slowly rose. The formation was broken. Young hero Xiao Chang is really amazing, Clayden said sincerely. This kind of person was actually Shen Jingxuan's boyfriend. He didn't know why her great-granddaughter had such good taste. Cheng Tianqiu's eyes also lit up. If this kind of person could have a relationship with the Cheng family, it would be easy for the Cheng family to gain a foothold in Songning. You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.